Tony is gone.
Oh. Well, I guess I did click the live button, so we can wait for him.
I'm going to eject this one. That Tony's no longer welcome. He's making faces. Well, face. He's making a face.
Yeah, just one. Yeah.
Yeah. Got back from SHOT Show on Friday and then went straight to doing a PAL the next day and an RPAL the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I wouldn't have gotten sick if I hadn't been like running my ass off.
I don't know. Like, Saturday, I was driving and then I filmed. Then I drove some more. Sunday, I actually forced laid back. Monday, I was back on the road. Got halfway to Oklahoma. Got a call that's saying, "Yeah, we're the outage is postponed." Actually, no, I didn't get a call. I got an email. I happened to check my email, and so I called him. He's like, "Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 weeks." Oh, okay. Thanks for the phone call.
Yeah.
So anyone who's watching, they get a little bit of pre-show because we were waiting on Tony, which he is back now.
I'm starting to think my computer's cursed. Every time Slamfire needs to do something important, my computer
You should get
crashes.
someone who knows something about computers to take a look at it.
Yeah. This computer had a rough life being water cooled,
Just
air
take
cooled.
it down to like Best Buy and get the Geek Squad to look at it.
Geek Squad. Yeah.
No, take it to the Apple. Those guys are smart.
Oh, yeah.
Apple Store, yeah.
Oh, God, the
Geniuses.
Genius Bar. Yeah. Golly, they also side quest, but like there was this recall program for it. At the time, the brand new MacBook Pros was the touch bars. It's very fancy. They don't even know how the recall is going to roll out, and the place I interned had a whole batch of them. It's like, okay, just wait for it. It was a whole thing.
All right, enough pre-show. Good evening and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 590 on January 29th, 2025. I am one of your hosts, Kyle.
I am Cowtown Tony.
And I'm Adriel. I didn't read the show notes I put in for you, Kyle. I thought you'd read it exactly as it's written.
I just looked up just before I started calling and changed it.
No, but I changed some of it back. I put 29th.
Oh, 29th.
Best English.
I
Nice.
tried.
I just use it as a guide. Just as a guide.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. Well, so Adriel and I are back from SHOT Show. We thought we might have escaped the SHOT Show plague, but it sounds like Adriel got a little bit of an ick.
I think I did, but my kid was sick when I got back, and I got it. I got what he had. I think it's COVID. I was eating some French fries.
It might have not been.
I like it. All I could taste is like mash. No flavors. I'm like, I think I know what that is.
Yeah, you were probably just weakened enough from SHOT Show. You didn't quite get it, but then you were more susceptible when you got home. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Well, let's get into what we did with guns. And Tony, why don't you kick us off?
I guess my week will be the most boring, so I'll start. Loaded some more 308s. As you can see there, the accuracy is really bad. Like, really bad. This was my first target of the day. I was able to use the 100 range. You'll see a lot of marks on it because this is actually 2 5-round groups. And the point of aim in the first one is here. The point of aim on the second one is here.
Huh.
Figure that one out. I don't know what happened. I was like, okay, I'm going to go down to the 50. It's a little bit more comfortable for me because how the range and the directions is placed in BTSA, usually you don't have as much sun shining in your eyes at the 50. Here's my buddy's, shout out to Vinny, his tiny little group there for his Savage B22 FVSS. So 5-round group, 3-round group here. So that's, 2 inches. So that's 4 MOA. Kind of 2 here too. So 4 MOA. Same here. So it's not as dramatic. It is colder in the morning. It is more stable in the afternoon. I'm loading ball powder. That could have something to do with it, as in I'm throwing more rounds downrange and the chamber temperature is getting higher, warming up the powder, and I'm getting higher rounds impact. I'm not sure.
How many rounds do you have through it so far? What's your total round count? Ish.
Closer to 100, I want to say.
It should be broken in.
Yeah. Well,
if your first 20 rounds were like that, it's like, maybe, there's some crap that needed to get, sorted out inside the barrel. But at 100, it should be sorted out.
Here's a groove from last time. It's not that bad. It's not great, but 1 inch, 50 yards, 2 MOA, acceptable. So I'm not too sure, but my buddy I asked him to try out a gun. It's kind of novel, it's a straight pull gun. It's like, the trigger is very heavy. I was like, it is very heavy. And I noted that too when I'm shooting. But I remember it being heavy last time, like the first time out, but I didn't remember it being that heavy. So I came home, wiped the gun because it's cold, got to put oil on it. And then I measured the trigger pull. If you see us on Discord, you'll find out it's, for some reason, having a 7-pound trigger pull now. Okay, it has an adjustable trigger. I dialed it down back to 4, which is, I guess, acceptable for the most part. The tool for the Savage AccuTrigger adjustment is awful. I hated that thing. Especially on this gun, because they have an access port instead of the instruction asking you to take the gun apart and do it with kind of a more knobby one. You kind of have a sticky adjustment tool that doesn't give you a lot of leverage, and it doesn't have a clear stop either side. It says, when you hear the spring start to click, that means you've reached the maximum, and you will see a sudden increase in resistance when you have reached the minimum of your trigger pull. It's like, whatever that means. Okay, so I did my best. Try not to over adjust it, because apparently that's going to break it. I haven't went out to shoot it again. So yeah, kind of disappointing. Shooting steel was fun though. I was hitting 100-yard and 200-yard steel, so I guess maybe it's still good enough for hunting. But if it's really turning out to 4 MOA, I think I need a talk with Savage. Also, remember last time I talked about light strikes on this gun. That was with the 7.62 ammo, pretty normal. And then the PPU ammo, well, this is actually Nagila, but the PPU ammo, which Eastern European, maybe a little bit harder primers, but this time I'm actually getting light strikes, not as much, not as many, but I got 3 light strikes out of the 50 rounds for even my hand loads, and I pushed these primers in hard, and I know they're definitely below flush. So
yeah, but I don't think you should be getting light primer strikes with real. What are you using for primers?
The Jonix Cam Pros. That's the thing.
I haven't those to be hard, but
I haven't found them to be hard. Well, I don't have a Glock, so it's hard to say, but my PCC runs great in them. The 223s runs great, but the 223, one of them is running the Troy. It's giving me discharges when I don't want it to happen. So that's one thing. The MVP in Adriel's hands right now is a legit 223 chamber gun. So that gun just takes it no problem. And I'm not sure how the manufacturing processes differ between the 3 type of primers: small pistol, small rifle, and large rifle. So it's a little hard to say, but if I see more, I might buy a few more boxes of factory and see if it's starting to have more problem that way. And maybe I need to send the bolt assembly, maybe not the whole gun, but maybe I need to send the bolt assembly back to Savage. I do need a recommendation if the 2 hosts or the guests or the listeners have any suggestions on either a good shooting rest or a good shooting bag setup. I'm using a Rock Junior right now. It's okay. I'm looking at, for example, the Caldwell's Lead Sled, but it's kind of mixed comment on their useful tools versus they will damage your gun.
Do you have a rear bag you use, Tony, along with that Caldwell Rock? Junior?
I do, but it's quite tall, and the BTSA rifle range is uphills. So never.
So what do you use on the rear? Do you just use your hand?
Yeah, or sometimes I use the heater seat. Works ish. Just to support it a bit, but that's
kind of one of those. I use one of those Caldwell Rock Juniors, and I've used it for, I don't know, 10 years. But I use a bag on the back, or you can use a sock full of beans too, but you need a bag on the back to get like really good stability.
You should be able to find a cheap like little squeeze bag around somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too particular about the whole accuracy thing. We'll see. But there's really too many factors this time for accuracy. I'm using a different type of bullet. I'm using the Chem Pro bullets, which, again, shouldn't be this bad. The weather condition for bow powder is questionable. And
should be fine.
The trigger is a problem that we know. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a often bench rest shooter. I'm not used to really heavy triggers. So
if it's 8 pounds, yeah. That triggers, like, and especially if your form isn't like perfect, that's going to punish you.
Yeah. So Adriel on Discord mentioned if something has break, I said it might have a 50-round break period instead of a break-in period. So we'll see if that's true or not. Hopefully it's not 50-round break. That would be, even for a hunting gun, that seems low.
But I think before even the accuracy in that, I think dealing with the changing trigger weight is,
I think that's a pretty major factor in this too.
Like before I even looked at the accuracy, that's what I'd be trying to make sure that I can set that trigger weights to be at least steady somewhere, whether it's your 4 pounds or, heaven forbid, 7-8 pounds.
I don't know why I drifted, because I recall, although not with evidence or not 100% clearly, I recall I did test it, since, you know, the things you do when you have a trigger gauge, you test every single gun you have, and a new gun came in, you test it. And remember, it's something like 4 pounds. I don't know why I shifted to 7. That's like a double in trigger weight. That seems like a lot. Not too sure. Maybe vibrations, but 308, it's not that punishing.
100 rounds of vibrations that should not move.
No, it shouldn't. But Loctite is often missing, so you never know. So in the quest to eliminate the powder issue, I sniped up a good deal with, this is Hodgdon benchmark powder, and you will notice it is in fact not made in the US, it is made in Australia. Apparently a lot of the extruded powders in North America are not made in the US. Apparently Canada makes some, which is kind of interesting. I think some of the DuPont IMR, or was DuPont, now a part of Hodgdon as well, are. So we'll give this a test instead of what I've been using so far, which is CFE 223. I did not shoot the TSX as I promised last week because I ran out of time to load develop for it. So wish me luck. I guess hunting season is still far away, so got plenty of time to deal with that.
Yeah.
Also shot some shotguns with the buddy because, you know, IPSC shotgun may be a thing, and I shot my SXP a bit. Winchester runs pretty good. I did some hip fire. My middle finger kind of hurt after that, just because I'm not holding the gun as tight as I guess possible. Here's another anecdotal evidence, I guess. I had this box of Challenger ammo. This is actually a quad pack, 100 rounds, but I decided that one day I'm gonna shoot them, but I didn't actually get around it, so I poured all 100 rounds in it, and it was stored in a cabinet in the garage. So suboptimal storage conditions. So far, I'm 75 rounds through it, and it still works just fine. So maybe shotgun shell storage isn't as critical, but just a thought. So maybe if you have not properly stored stuff, go shoot them. Go shoot them first, prioritize them, but maybe don't freak out too much about it.
The box looks fine. Like if it was rotting or like falling to pieces or something like that.
Yeah,
they were in the
did
box.
You have like a bunch of rust on your brass or something?
No, It wasn't that bad. It wasn't exposed to like on the moisture, I don't think. Let's go to Adriel next.
All right. I went to SHOT Show. It was boring. That's all I want to say about it. No, we'll talk about it later. I went and picked up one of these shotguns. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. I think it's kind of a piece of crap.
That is funny. Wow, it's an interesting color. Is that a new one or?
That's neat, hey?
Do they sell that like marine grade or something?
Shiny. I don't know. Shiny.
Is it is it painted over or no? Like, is it a metal finish or is it painted over?
I don't know.
That's the thing. That's a complaint I have with the SXP is the finish is not strong on it.
No, there's something to complain about on the SXP, and it's not the finish. It's the fucking action release that's back here, and such a pain in the ass to get to. That's what you got to complain about on an SXP.
I don't need to release the action that often, though.
I teach PAL courses, so I need to release action all the time. Yep. Okay, let's get into some real stuff. Yeah, so I went to SHOT Show, got back. Next day did a PAL. Next day did an art PAL. Next day started getting sick, and today, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit sick. I got a bunch of stuff that came in the mail while I was gone, and been working on getting some reviews together for them. The first one, so there's this guy in Ontario, Alex's Homebrew. He sells stuff on Gunpost and that kind of thing. And he sells an aluminum upper for the TM22 to make it rear charge. So you don't need the side charging handle anymore. You can charge it like an AR. And works pretty good. So I've converted this one here. It does, I don't know, clean it up side to side because that side charging handle isn't sticking out from the side anymore. And you can just grab it on one side and pull it, and that just works fine as well. Feels like a pretty decent quality kit. And yeah, I'm probably going to shoot this thing this weekend. It's one of the guns I'm going to shoot. A little bit pricey because they're 200 something because it's a custom aluminum part for a weird market. So
it's kind of crazy though. I think that guy's designed his own scope and sells it too.
Like this one, like this scope right here.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex's Homebrew. So I emailed him. I saw his review on, what was that Optics channel? There was a YouTuber that had reviewed his scope. I'm like, oh, this guy's in Canada. Hey, can you send me one of those? He's like, yeah. Do you have a TM22, by the way? I'm like, yeah. In fact, I have one sitting right here. He's like, oh, I'm going to send you something else as well. So he sent me that and this scope to take a look at. So he spec'd out a 1:4, made in China. But it's got a couple of kind of interesting features on it that you wouldn't really expect for. It's still pretty cheap. It's like $350, something like that. One of the things that he spec'd in there, it comes with a kill flash. So that's impossible to show on a camera. But
well, it killed the flash, right? That's the whole point.
Oh, it's doing great. Yeah, it comes with a kill flash. It's kind of neat because that's not really something you get with a lot of inexpensive scopes. It comes with the mount on there. So it's got that AR height optics mount that it comes with. 1:4, so like not the most magnification possible out of it, and pretty like out of date in terms of magnification. It's got a pretty short throw, so it's just that much. And it's got a humongous magnification grabber right up here. So pretty, it's not as quick as some of the better ones with a little like nipple hanging off that you grab onto and flip over. Like those are going to be faster than this one. The red dot in here. So a lot of scopes, the magnification, they kind of like just shine light at it, and anything in the reticle picks it up. So you get a lot of like spill. You don't get a lot of brightness because it's the LED or whatever hitting the reticle coming back at your eye. The more expensive scopes, and I think the first one I tried like this was Adam Glatz, his Razor 1-10, shooting I think in BC, or was that in Saskatchewan? I can't remember. And that thing had a fiber dot. So it's actually in the scope, the reticle, one of those lines is a fiber optic going up to the middle, and then it's got a sharp 90-degree turn on it, and it aims right at your eyeball. And what that does is allow for extremely bright red dots. So I think I'll be able to catch this on camera because it's so friggin' bright. But
oh wow, it is.
Yeah. It's really daytime bright, right? So really bright, really sharp and crisp, just right in the middle there. Enough to the point where you could use it as a red dot. You can just pull it up to your face, use the red dot as a dot, and go for it. I've tried using that on some of the other scopes. I had that Cabela's 126, and it had a dot on it. And it looked great until I tried it at a 3-gun match. I was like, oh, this is not daytime bright. I can't actually use this even on max. More of like a nighttime illumination kind of a thing. The other thing, okay, so I don't actually like illumination on scopes because they kill themselves all the time. You get these stupid dials on them, and then you leave it on, and then it dies a horrible death because the battery, you forgot, and the battery gets killed. This thing's got a 5-minute auto shut off and shake awake, which is we've been seeing that in red dots. We haven't really been seeing that technology in scopes, so that was kind of cool. And I don't know, the rest of it is just a scope. The gun underneath that scope is the Sterling Arms R9. So I asked, and they sent me one. This is their non-restricted length one. It's got the barrel that is right about there. It's drilled into right about here. I'll put some pictures up on the Slamfire Discord. But it's a hollow tube at the end here. And then the rifling is only, I think they said 11 inches of rifled barrel, because you don't really need too much more for a 9mm. And because it's hollow, it's lighter. So kind of neat from there. It does use those MP5 mags. They have these 10-round pistol mags, and then they also have a 510 rifle mag that you can use with it. Which that one's just that it has to come with that one, and then you buy the 10-rounders, right? There were pistol MP5s in Canada, the MP5K. I was looking at Armalytics, and it lists it as a submachine gun, so they don't delineate between pistols and rifles when you get to that point. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. The controls on this thing. Okay, so pick rail grabber on the back here. So this button here will let you slide the stock off of the pick rail. Plus, it's got buffer tube. You get both buffer tube and pick rail. So you can, if you want to replace the stock, you can pick, I guess. But it's got a simple mag pull. I like this mag pull, the one with the big handle in there. You know the mag pull stocks with the little fingers that just like sit really, really shy and they're really hard to use? I hate those. I like the big one that you can just grab really easily.
Oh, the SLs? You don't like the SLs?
No.
They don't wiggle though.
I don't care. I don't care about wiggle.
They sound a lot nicer.
I'm in a match, and I'm trying to maybe I'm trying to get between a VTAC and a wall or something like that, and I need to quickly pull it in and take a shot from a bad location. I want to just grab it and be able to move it in or out as I need to.
Ouch. Guess that's a very specific 3-gun thing.
See, and I don't like an adjustable stock, period.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good point too.
My beard hair gets pulled out by CTR or whatever, and like the Ace skeleton or that Cold Components I got on mine. That's my preference.
Kyle and I checked out a stock at SHOT Show that was aluminum and all skeletonized, and I put my face on it. I'm like, nope. It was just like
too cold?
grabbing my beard hair instantly as soon as I put my face on it. Yeah, it was horrible. Other controls on this thing. Yeah, it's got a dust cover on there, just like an AR. So that'll get covered up. It's got 2 different magazine releases. It's got one right there that goes sideways, and it's got another one right here that goes down there. And you can either do like that, or you can grab it with your thumb, whichever one you want to do. Charging handle on the one side there, non-reciprocating. Magnet on there, bolt release, yada yada.
Can it be ambidextrous to charge?
No, this is not an ambi gun. So the safety could be flipped around to the other side. The mag release cannot. The bolt release.
Does the mag release not have enough meat on the other side for you to push on?
The mag release?
The front mag release.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah. No, the mag. Yeah, you could do the grab there. That would be fine. And the ejection is only one side, and the charging handle is only one side. So neither of those are going to be moving. Yeah, I'm going to take this to the range this weekend and see how it does.
Be the star of the range.
Should be fun. Yeah. What's next in my list here? More tripods. Yeah. So I got your gun there on a tripod. Here, let's get some light on there. That didn't make it.
That's very fancy.
Yeah. Oh, and I got the clamp too. The clamp I got in the mail from AliExpress because I'm a cheapskate, and it was $50. And then I got taller tripods. So yeah, all sorts of tripods to try at the range or go shooting with or whatever. In the mail, I got some Canon fuse for my Canon. I might buy another Canon. Might buy a bigger one. I kind of like it. It's fun.
Come and take it. Yes.
Buy one that fits a bowling ball.
A bowling
ball. Why?
Because you can.
Because why not? Yeah. I bet you get used bowling balls.
Okay, well,
right?
maybe go in the middle and do golf ball size.
Golf ball? Not tennis ball? Baseball.
Wait, what? Balloon ball?
No, see, much
balloon?
more fun launching like a golf ball or a bowling ball than like a tennis ball.
I think a golf ball would take the pressure too.
Yeah.
I think
like a bowling ball. Oh, jeez. Oh, yikes. Boy. Overpressure. Jeez.
That'd be a big boy. Yeah. No, golf ball sounds fun. I should do that. Or 50 cal or 75 or 50.
At what point?
Golf ball would be cheap ammo.
We got to get Runko on the show again. At what point is it considered as a firearm? Gee, well, single shot.
If it uses a Canon fuse, it's fine. There's guys in.
Wait, what?
They do a Canon shoot in Alberta here. They have big Canon.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I got a phone gimbal. So part of Kyle and I were at SHOT. I was looking around. I'm like, geez, So we both had tripods with our cameras on it, but really what we needed is one tripod and then one phone gimbal for like moving around and doing B-roll and that kind of thing. So the other reason why I picked one up, because Kyle has one, but the one reason why I picked one up is because I wanted to get B-roll of my guns for my videos, and I think that'll help.
Should have got a DJI instead. Just the dedicated camera thing.
This is a DJI, but it's just for the phone. You just put your phone.
I know. I don't know. I don't have really good success with them.
I don't know. My phone one works just fine. Biggest problem is finding someone that knows how to use it to do match video on that.
Yeah. I probably won't use it for match video. I'll probably just use it for B-roll of gun reviews and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rifle clamp, got some random scope rings. To come, I have a Diana R22. Did I talk about that on the show, that I bought that?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't recall.
I bought it on the way to Vegas.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, yeah. So Bullseye had that R20, the carbon fiber bolt action 22 for, I think it was $250 or $350. It was cheap enough. I couldn't resist. So I bought it. Should be here on Friday. This weekend, I'm going to hit the range. I'm going to bring that TM22, Sterling R9, my Savage Stevens 334 in 6.5 Creedmoor. I haven't shot it yet. I'd like to set it in, see if I can get some decent groups with it. Dave's Henry Homesteader and Tony's Mossberg Patriot. So I've got 5 guns to take to the range this weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. How about you, Kyle?
Well, before SHOT Show, we had our club AGM. And so I went from, with no contest, I went from filling in as president to now officially president of the club. So, and yeah.
Congratulations.
President.
No one else stepped in, so.
Where's your inauguration speech?
Oh, there's none. And then we had the match on the Saturday before leaving for SHOT, and Buddy brought out a gun for me to try. And, I pretty much knew before shooting it, but yeah, I have a new toy now. So.
It's a cat.
Well,
shiny.
Here's the interesting thing. It is an STI frame with a Limcat slide.
I thought that was pretty common back in the day.
Well, I think that's how but probably how Limcat started was doing that.
Why is the side racker on the wrong side of the gun?
It's not on. Have you looked at many open guns? Like a lot of them are on that side of the gun.
The side racker?
The side racker? Oh, there's a lot of people that do that too. I remember Corey Lawrenson did that.
Why do they put it on that side of the gun? Why would you choose to put it on that side of the gun?
Well, because for right-handed, you're not grabbing it and catching your thumb over here. For one, so then
it's not in the way. It's not in the way of the recoil.
Yeah, not in the way of the recoil. And when you have to rack it, your fingers aren't in the way of your fingers when you go to rack it.
I guess maybe I just see most of them on the left. I saw that was just a de facto choice.
No, I have a feeling Corey still runs his like this on the other side. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said sight. And I'm like, what?
No. The side attachment is always like that. It's a stationary type.
Interesting though with this, it doesn't have your traditional gas pedal. It's got the nitro fin.
What's different about it?
So the nitro fin is actually a modified slide lock button that has the shelf for your thumb. Whereas normally a gas pedal is just bolted to the side more forward. But it actually fits my hand. Not too bad. So,
are you planning, well, since you're in the US, I'm assuming you are planning to tune your magazines so they do not lock.
I did that in Canada as well. My STI, my limited gun, I did that. I don't use slide lock on my STI.
Okay.
No, that's one thing with the 2011s. So, what was that,
you don't
Adriel?
need it on an AK-47. You don't need it on your STI.
No, it's the same remedial action every single time. And one thing with the 2011s is that bolt hold open is a little unreliable. So you just same action every time.
You can't expect much from a gun that's that inexpensive. You need to spend more to get a slide that works properly.
Yeah, and with the nitro fin, yes, because you are using it as a gas pedal, it will not go into slide lock. Especially if you're using the gas pedal correctly, which I need to learn how to do. Because I shot it on the Saturday, and I mean it runs great, but I'm not taking full advantage of it being an open gun, still kind of shooting it like a limited gun. So it's just with the comp and really getting down on the gas pedal and the safety. So, but yeah.
We're expecting an open master here. What are you doing?
So I have never actually really, I'm trying to think, I don't think I've ever shot an open gun. So my first
it feels like cheating a little bit, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
They feel really good. I've shot.
Oh yeah, they just fit.
Checkmate. Yeah.
So yeah, there was that, and then I went to SHOT Show. Ran into Adriel there, hung out a little bit.
Coincidence.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but. From there, I did, I got a new tripod to test and review. So my shotgun is on it right now. And because I bought a plate that goes from M-LOK to Arca Rail. So,
cool.
With that Briley handguard, I was able to put my shotgun on it.
Sounds like something you'd be able to 3D print, eh?
Yeah, but I don't know if the 3D print would hold up to... Like
the 3D print you'd be grabbing on the Arca, and you'd be able to get an Arca plate, and then your M-LOK would be steel.
Yeah,
but you'll be crushing the Arca plate.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yep. Oh god, you're gonna be eating a lot of Arca plates. I crush them hard.
Well, it's nice. I think Adriel's the same way. It's got a quick release on your Arca, and then this has a lever for your center pivot ball. So I am going to test that. Well, I've already used it. You test it for some video stuff and that, but also I'm actually going to try and get to the range this weekend and start my barrel testing both on the shotgun and my rifle. So take the 77 grainers out, throw my rifle on the tripod, and test them out with the JP barrel. And then I'll take some shots out of this barrel, but I'm probably going to put my 26-inch barrel on the shotgun and do some tests, both just shoot 3 to 5 slugs out of a cold barrel, blast a pile of birdshot, and then do another 3 to 5 shots of slugs to see the deviation from point of aim, point of impact with that barrel heating up. And then I don't think I'll get it done Saturday, but because I got to change barrel on my AR, because I'm going to try out that stretch 16 barrel on the AR, and I'm going to cut the vent rib on my 26-inch barrel, shotgun barrel, and do the same test all over again and see how the point of impact deviation after heating up, how much that changes with cutting the vent rib. And if it is appreciable, I will do it to my 28-inch barrel.
So let me just get this straight. You're cutting the vent rib,
yeah,
just in case when it heats up, it pulls it up.
Exactly, and I have kind of noticed that. So yeah, the vent rib's supposed to like basically draw heat, but it's drawing heat to one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like to end up doing, and this is something that like Ross Performance used to do. And so I'd end up cutting the vent rib right here, pull out all that brazing, and then right down to about right here. I'll leave like one full section just because I want to retain my rear sight and obviously my front sight.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, the theory with that is that you won't be adding heat to one part of the barrel that pulls it out of direction. So that is
Has anyone done fluted shotgun barrels for cooling purposes?
No, they're way too thin.
They're skinny. Yeah.
Yeah, they're way too thin to do that.
Kyle, think of the weight savings you're getting off that too.
Should just run with no sights.
It's a shotgun. You pretty much do that anyways. But yeah, so that's some testing I want to do. But since I just had a pile of work done to that barrel, I don't want to necessarily cut into that barrel yet. So I'm gonna test it with actually not my 26-inch. I'll probably do it on my 24-inch barrel. I don't know. One of the two, either a 24 or 26-inch barrel, I will do it with. And then if it's appreciable, then I will cut into my 28-inch barrel.
So you're going to test the 26. What are you going to do? Just
so
you need you and 2 buddies who all have their chest rigs loaded up, and then guy 1 needs to load and fire it as fast as they can, and he passes it to guy 2, and they need to load it and fire it the fast as they can, and then guy 3 load it and fire it as fast as they can. Maybe with a slug at the start and a slug at the end. That'll tell you where the barrel's pointing, right?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot like probably 3 to 5 rounds off the tripod, off rest, at a target like 50 yards, group some slugs, and then I will load up all my caddies, and I will get some reload practice in and dump a pile of birdshot.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing, shoot 3 to 5 rounds off the rest, nice and controlled, so I can't blame me and wavy arms or whatever. And yeah, see the grouping size difference and the point of impact difference.
Speaking like someone who will not be affected by the whole ammo tariff thing.
You were just holding up Challenger. That's Canadian, dude.
That's true, but
we'll be fine for shotgun shells here. Yeah.
Guess what? People are buying Challenger down here. So I mean, like, you got
really?
Some more and yeah.
That's
I saw it at SHOT Show.
That's nice.
I saw Challenger at SHOT Show.
My little town of 30,000 people, they sometimes have score in the shop. Or not score, sorry, Challenger.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, you got score and Challenger, both great. Like, I shot those when I was up north. Like, there's nothing wrong with that ammo.
What's the chance that U.S. ammo is cheaper in Canada and Canadian ammo is cheaper in the U.S.? The false economy is real.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's the plan with the shotgun. AR, it'll be just standard grouping 100 yards with the 77 grainers. I'm not going to waste time sightening it in. I'm just going to do a bunch of like 5-round groups because I got 40 rounds of that 77 grain stuff. And I will come home, put on the new barrel, and do the same thing again. And just look for the grouping itself. But if you are watching the video for basically my last, I think this would be my last thing, you will see there is an empty spot right there. There used to be a flag, and that used to be black there. Well, I was able to have a nice conversation with a company, and I put out a video.
Wait, it must be Vortex.
Oh, how'd you know?
Because the flag might have influenced you? I don't know.
I fell victim to Tony's influence. No, I did not. No, actually, I had a really great talk with Vanya at Apex Optics, and I'm extremely honored to say that I have signed on with Apex Optics as a sponsored shooter with their team. So that had to come down.
They don't know how bad you are, though, right?
No, they just know I keep talking to them and bugging them. So they figure 1 or 2 people might actually listen to me, which I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, the loopholed flag, which it was just, I haven't been shooting for loopholed for a while. Still like their optics, but they did kind of abandon action shooting in that, and so yeah, that had to come down, obviously. But I'm super thrilled. They added another optic this year that basically made it so that whatever I have, I can have one of their optics on it. So that's a big selling point for me, because I'd hate to have to like carry around a gun with a different optic when I have an optic sponsor. That was one thing when I was looking at optic sponsors was, do you do something for everything? And now Apex is there. So
cool.
So yeah, we will get going because we have spent quite a bit of time on what we did with guns, and we still have a main topic to go through. So upcoming events. Has there been any Maple Seed schedules coming out yet?
No.
Okay.
I thought Kelly was working on it.
Okay. Well, she hasn't.
I'm working on some dates, but those dates won't be announced just yet.
Yeah.
Look for like March, April for those dates to be announced.
Cool.
We're just working with ranges now.
Okay. All right. 3-gun, there's nothing happening there. What do you got for PAL courses coming up there, Adriel?
Yeah, I just did one here over the weekend. I've got one on February 8th and 9th in Devon, February 22nd and 23rd at Sherwood Park, March 22nd and 23rd in Sherwood Park again, exactly 1 month later. The weekends just worked out that way. And then April 12th, 13th in Devon. And I'm probably going to add another couple in between there, but that's what I got right now.
Okay. Cool. I don't know what these other two, like, did you guys do the Kelly calendar signing last week?
Kelly's doing a calendar signing. Oh, that's probably National Range Day she wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a good time to start planning for your National Range Day. So if your range is doing stuff, then plan for it.
Yeah, it'll be the first weekend in June.
First Saturday. I believe it will be like week 2 for this year, so like the 6th, I believe.
2 to 6th.
Yeah, so first Saturday.
Good to know.
We'll get on to the news.
Sorry, the 7th. Correction, the 7th.
Okay. First Saturday in June.
Always correct.
Who put in this Facebook link? What is it?
I got it here. Tony, if you don't have it.
You can share. I believe Long Range Hunter has acquired X Reload, which is one of the larger reloading components shop out east, I think in Quebec. And they do have good online inventory and stuff. So if you're a reloader, you might have have business with them before. If not, check them out. They have some cool stuff.
Okay. And then this fact check liberal gun ban.
That was kind of That was kind of from last week, but
Okay.
since Rod and the CCFR radio has mentioned it, we'll just add it on here. We'll post it to Discord as well. It's a good video.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I do have some news here. Yesterday, Demolition Ranch announced his retirement.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
You make a video that says, I'm not doing videos anymore. This last one. One more video just to say I'm out.
Well, it's a soft. He's got some contracts he's got to do yet with companies, but 2 months ish. It's going to be slowly over the next 2 months. It's going to be slowly fading out, and then it will be no more. So,
that's really too bad.
Yeah, kids are growing up, and he wants to spend more time with family, and not let life get away. And there's been a bunch of crazies over the last couple of years, just really wreaking havoc on their life. So he's selling, like from his off the ranch stuff, he's selling the Desperado Ranch that he was renovating. If it doesn't sell, he'll keep it. He'll work on it. But in a couple months there will be no more new content for Demolition Ranch.
I guess Bunker Branding will still exist.
Oh yeah, he'll still keep.
I guess they did pick up a lot of more workload. Pepperbox TV, Bunker Branding is growing, so.
Oh yeah, like that's a separate business. He's quitting YouTube.
Yeah.
So
there's not very many OGs left at this point. Hickok 45.
Yeah.
And I guess Jerry Mitchell, like, does he do a lot of new videos these days?
Once in a while, like once in a blue moon, he'll throw something out. Yeah,
he's getting old. He doesn't need to, right? Neither does Hickok 45, but he still does.
No, I'm surprised I'm kind of surprised Hickok's still going. But
yeah, one guy who should get back into it, FPS Russia.
I've got to watch video. There's a video that showed up in my feed. But they basically like the return of FPS Russia or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's time. Time to come back.
Yeah. But that's basically the news. We get on to new gun stuff, which is going to be the main topic. It's SHOT Show and kind of overviewing stuff that we saw at SHOT, if our memories are semi-decent.
I took notes.
Yeah, we have notes here. So
I might have used AI to make the notes.
I was reading through it. I could kind of tell. Adriel, do you want to kick us off on our SHOT Show report?
Sure, yeah. So I came in on the Monday. I think you came in on the Monday as well, right?
I drove in right to the airport, picked you up from the airport. Yeah.
Got me from the airport there. We got our badges. You can get their badges everywhere. We got them from the airport. It was super easy. After that, so they have this Prairie Fire thing. They have a media day. We didn't get into it. We'll get into it next year. But this year, we didn't get into it, but there was this Prairie Fire thing that's open to the public. And it's like a range day, but like on steroids. Like all free ammo, all sorts. Oh my God. So Kyle and I shot like suppressed ARs and a whole bunch of Glocks and staccatos, and everyone gave us free ammo. We shot a suppressed 50 BMG. That was amazing. Yep. Very
easily
cool.
The quietest gun on the range.
Yep. Hearing safe and not a lot of recoil off of it either.
No, it was a nice push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was cool. And we got to, so a lot of these companies were doing their demos at this Prairie Fire range near Vegas, and then we'd see them at SHOT Show. So when we went to SHOT Show, I'd be like, oh, that's the company that had their guns out on the range, that kind of thing. Kyle and I were there as media, but at Prairie Fire rather, but you could be there as like Leo or military or just randos from the public who just want to shoot guns for free, right?
Yeah.
That was put on by Staccato. Staccato had a big presence at Prairie Fire and at SHOT Show, like huge presence. So they must be making a fortune off of their law enforcement contracts, because it looks like they're swimming in money.
Yeah. Well, they got like, so when you walk into the main doors of SHOT Show, it's always Glock. Glock is right there. Staccato is right beside it, and all through the show, the crowd at the Staccato booth was the biggest.
Oh, it was day one.
Yeah.
It was absolutely nuts. It was nuts at the Glock booth too, but the Staccato booth was crazy. Yeah. So then we went to SHOT Show for the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I had to bounce. Kyle was still there for the Friday. I would say, so for people who aren't familiar, SHOT Show is like this big trade show in Vegas. It's the biggest yearly gun related trade show. It's not really for the general public. It's for media. It's for militaries, police departments, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's lots of industry show. When I'm telling people, I always say it's basically SEMA but for guns.
What's SEMA?
That's like your car industry,
the race
show.
Car show. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't know it. Yeah, like that. But yeah, so the booths would be Glock, gun companies like Glock and Staccato and optics and accessories and ammunition manufacturers and foreign military contractors and all sorts of stuff. I think I saw 3,800 booths. Does that ring a bell?
Actually, there was a SHOT Show email, and they had,
I'm pretty sure,
as I'm looking it up, 2,800 exhibitors. And numbers was actually down this year. There was 54,000 attendees.
That's nuts. 54,000 attendees. That's still nuts. Yeah, it was busy. It wasn't as busy as I was dreading it to be. We could actually like walk around the floor. We could set up cameras, do recording. I was thinking like this would be shoulder to shoulder, like just like a train station in China, just packed to the gills, right?
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Ren Shan, Ren Shui. But yeah, no, it was good. There was lots of room to record. Day one, we kind of like took a look around, kind of like zigzagging all over the floor. Just like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? I think it was mostly me doing. I was mostly just like
I was letting you do your thing.
Yeah. I want to go take a look at this thing out here. And then after that, we started to get a little bit more methodical about it and started zigzagging, doing back and forths and doing it properly as we went along, because there were so many things where like we passed a couple booths where it's like, man, there's nothing interesting, and keep going, and then later on I'd be like, oh, they actually have this thing. I was like, oh, damn it, we should have stopped there. Seen what they had. And yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, if you don't do that, there is not enough time to stop at every booth and talk to every single booth. You don't have the time. Never mind if you're going to video something and do all that. You just don't have the time.
But like there was a lot of repetition. There were a lot of companies that were selling the same crap as everyone else at the same quality level that you didn't really need to spend a lot of time at. Like there's a lot of like I don't know, like Chinese scope companies where it wasn't even a brand. It was just like some rando.
The Chinese flashlights and
flashlights and that kind of thing. And it started to all blend together. Even the name brand stuff, like you can tell, like when you look at like 100 red dots, they all start to look the same. And we went to like Primary Arms. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen all these before. And Hollow Sun, I feel like I've seen all these before, even though we hadn't. And then there was, some interesting stuff in there, but just got like fatigued, I guess, from seeing all the same thing over and over again. But there were a couple of things that kind of stood out. Lots of Glock Gen 3 clones. I think that's going to be really good when pistols become legal again in Canada. We're going to have lots of selection for low-priced Glock Gen 3 clones. That's what I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful that we're going to get some like cheaper stuff, because Glock by itself is kind of expensive. And I got like a Glock 17. They want too much for it. I would rather just get a Gen 3 clone, especially for our PAL courses. I would love to get some Glock clones, because that's a more common modern type of a pistol to use. And because that Gen 3 is out of patent, there's so many people that are making it and making parts for it.
Buy 10 PSA daggers. What's the price? $350, $299
exactly.
US.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I'll probably do is just get.
No. Get 10 high points.
No.
$199.
No, that's simple, and not that simple. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Black Rain Ordnance. That's kind of your thing, Kyle. You were interested.
Yeah,
in that
that was.
shot it.
Yeah, we shot it on at the Prairie Fire Range, and it was kind of interesting. So Black Rain this year came out with a short stroke piston AR. It felt like a normal AR, both in the grip width and the weight. Like it didn't have the added weight or handguard size that a normal piston driven AR has. Like if you've ever shot a POF, that they're heavier and that. But yeah, that one. So it's very similar system to WK because it's short stroke piston system. But for their retaining for their piston return spring, it's actually built into the handguard. So they actually have a steel block at the end of the handguard that actually is your clamp to go around your barrel nut as well. So you got a big piece of steel there, no nylon bushing crap or anything like that to retain your piston return spring. And it shot great. So yeah, it was really nice. That was cool sight.
They've gone to WSMCR. They've gone to a steel insert now too. They use a big steel block up front. Yeah, took them a bit.
Do we know what kind of insert the Brownells 180 is using?
We took a look at the Brownells one, but I didn't notice the insert. The Brownells, their dust sealing was really weird. They've got like rubber wipers along the charging handle, so that as you're pulling, it's like kind of sealing it from dust. And then where the bolt is, they've got a plastic piece that seals up against the outside to keep dust from getting in. So they really went hardcore on the dust prevention or dust mitigation on that gun, which I don't know if they were concerned about like it failing a mud test or something like that. Like
I'm not sure if it's like historically correct to have those. I thought Brownells is all about like historically.
I don't think they're going historically.
No, not with the BRN. No, the BRN is
interesting.
An AR that you can have a fold. It can be a folder, right? So it can be a folder. It's piston driven, so it's more of a performance upper than it is
historical reactive.
Yeah. Plus, it fits on AR lowers.
That's true.
Yeah, it looked good. I don't think we'll get one for a while here yet. Their sand pistols were cool. So they have that 2311.
Yeah, they call it 2311. They're putting out their own, basically 2011. The 2011 patent ran out, so now you're seeing everybody coming out. Like that's where you're seeing like the Echelon and all that. But they just can't call it a 2011. So they did their 2311, and then they put out a match version of it, which I am going to reach out to EAA because I was actually quite impressed. The trigger weight was not quite DVC, but it was good. Like I put it probably about 2.5, 3 pounds. Like, it was actually a decent trigger, short reset, and the thing's less than $1,000.
Yeah, and when you pulled the slide back over the hammer, you couldn't feel the hammer.
Yeah,
just same resistance back, all like just nice and slick all the way back.
Yeah,
felt really good.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, for $1,000 2011 clone. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so I want to try and get my hands on one to test out.
I would love to as well, but I think you've got a better chance of doing that than I do
at this point in time, maybe.
Yeah. We swung by Savage's booth. They have a new stock for their Savage axes, and it's got like a pistol grip. It's got like a more vertical grip on it. The bolt handle, I didn't like it. They went from like a round one, which was great for like moving in your palm and that kind of thing, to like this angular thing. They got too cute with it. It doesn't
How do
feel
you make
good.
a bolt handle angular?
I mean, it's got like think of an octagon, like a stop sign kind of a thing. That's kind of like what they've got going on there. Yeah, no, they should have stayed with the round one.
Bloody palms? Jeez.
Yeah, you got those like point, like as you're rotating it through your hand, you could feel the points, and it didn't feel great. And then they showed us their Revell, which is their lever action 22. They showed us the deluxe stock one, which looked pretty cool. It's wood with like cutouts and that kind of thing in it, and it felt really good, and it looked really solid for a gun this wasn't a new gun, the Revell. Like they announced that I want to say last year they announced it. It looks very well put together.
For the American listeners, if you want to get yours soon, you want to do that because soon it will be 25% more expensive.
Is the Revell made in Canada?
Yep, Lakefield. So for us, it'll be okay. Maybe that would push the Revell above the Henrys.
No, the Canadians are gonna tax it twice. Once because they're Americans, and once because yeah. That was neat. Tandem Cross is 22 that they've got set up. They're 1022. Things like made of like space.
Yeah, that thing was
very spacey.
Pretty interesting.
So they were using their tensioned barrel, which is like a steel barrel with an aluminum like sleeve around it, kind of a thing. Tensioned sleeve. Very lightweight, very, very compact, and they've got all the go fast parts for the 1022. It was really nice. Asked them about the GSG 1911, and it sounds like they're not going to be doing very much for it anymore. Where's that leave us? Campro's got those copper bullets, those copper hunting bullets. I'm looking forward to those. I kind of want to try them because the TSXs are like $1 a round, or $1 a bullet. Sorry.
Right.
So by the time you're done making your round, you're probably at like $2 or $1.60 or something like that. So I'm kind of interested in their copper bullets and seeing if they're any good. SugarTech had some new triggers. They had some Glock triggers. So they're making triggers for the Glock platform. They weren't cheap, but they felt really good.
How not cheap is not cheap? Is it as expensive as the Timney?
They were pretty much the same price as Timney.
Yeah,
but
yeah, 300.
I think they changed something because they put that Glock trigger out last year.
Yeah,
they had Glock triggers out last year.
So one thing to note, and Kyle knows this, I'm just saying it for listeners, but a lot of this stuff was previously announced, and they announced it again for this year. Like they just bring their stuff.
Yeah,
out, right?
there was some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the stuff like those triggers there, maybe they couldn't quite get them ready for prime time, or maybe the ones that they showed last year were like super early prototypes and not nearly ready for prime time.
Yeah.
I still don't see their website mentioning a pistol trigger.
Yeah, because you can't buy it, and they're probably not going to have them ready. When did they say? I thought they were like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah,
anytime they say like 6 months in the future,
give it a year.
Maybe a year, maybe more. Yeah, but those felt good. Winchester. I picked up one of the Winchester bolts, their Wildcat bolt actions, because I haven't picked one of these up. I'm like, what the hell? Why is it so heavy? It was a 17 WSM version, which is kind of neat. I like 17 WSM, the cartridge. I think it's got a lot of promise. Just there's not a lot of bolt actions for it. There's the Savage B-Mag, which is kind of a piece of crap. I don't know what Savage was thinking when they made that thing. It's so weird and it's so bad. And then Ruger's got one, which is really great, but it's $1,000, and I really want to spend $1,000.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. On theirs, because it was their version of the 17 WSM. I want to say it was Ruger, not 77. Anyways, it wasn't one of their cheap actions. It was an expensive action. But this has got to be cheap. Like the Winchester Wildcat 17 WSM was going to be like $400, maybe 450. It's going to be one of the cheaper ones, and still good because again, I don't really like the Savage B-Mag. Anyways, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And end of day one, we spent a little bit of time getting Kyle's knife sharpened, right?
Yep. It was funny because Adriel, we walked by the booth and Adriel started telling me about the sharpener, and Buddy walked up and said, "Well, do you got a knife that needs sharpening?" I said, "Oh, yeah, actually I do." So I handed my knife to him and ended up doing a video, 15 minutes, and got to find out just how screwed up my knife was. But in 15 minutes, that thing was razor sharp. Interesting to note with that I learned is your bevels. I thought it was just standard that your bevel would be the same on your knife. Apparently, that is actually uncommon. It's more uncommon. It's more common to have like different to find a knife with different angled bevels. Yeah. So
as in both sides or like difference between brands?
One will be like it won't be perfectly in the middle. It'll be off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
one side versus
will have
the
more
other.
of an angle than the other.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was an interesting fact to learn from him, because we were watching him this wicked sharp sharpening setup. Like that was slick, like fine-tuned dial your bevel in and everything, and yeah, it was slick, like down to the degree. And
one thing I just wanted to mention about the whole show, the people who were running the booths were smart. Yeah. So like I'm used to other trade shows where it's like you get like booth bunnies and rando salespeople who don't know shit, and the people who are running the booths by and large were like pretty sharp. That wicked sharp guy,
yeah,
like blew me out of the water with how much he knew and how used to using the product. He's like, hey, now I'm gonna go here. Okay, and now I'm putting a burr on it right now. Okay, I can feel that burr. You feel this burr right here, and then goes to this next thing. And he was like, It was like watching a master at work.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So that was a nice sharpening and really, really cool sharpening setup. And I got that video that will get posted up at some point here on my big list. I have a pile of videos to edit and do, so try and get that out.
Yeah. We got a pile of footage. That's 17 WSM, $379.
There you go.
That is cheap for 17 WSM, and that is a spicy round too.
Yep.
Bit hard to find.
Yeah. We found Williams fire site, and they have a low mounting red dot, both for like Ruger 1022 and for like Italian shotguns mostly. And actually,
and Remington and Mossberg.
Yep. But so they, with this optic, the way they were able to do it was all the electronics, your emitter, everything is on the top instead of the into the base. So like the
window is on the bottom, so to speak.
Yeah, if you want to look at it like that, yeah, like we were mounted so your bottom was didn't need to be super thick because it didn't have a battery, electronics, or an emitter. Everything was all in the top of the optic, which we actually saw that on other optics that we saw too. Like that's starting to become a thing, just so that you can get that lower mount on your optic.
Which you want a lower mount on a shotgun because you're trying to get as close to that bead as possible.
Because a shotgun's built to look eye level down the vent rib.
Mm-hmm.
And so you throw an optic on a shotgun and now you're lifting your head up off the shotgun. So
the other thing that they were selling was mounting kits for different guns. So like those shotguns, they had like a little rail that would like get into little screw holes on it and then let you mount that red dot really low. Same thing for the 1022. So they had a proprietary rail that fit onto the 1022 and then got that red dot really, really low. Kind of like a saddle mount kind of a thing. Yep. Which was interesting to see because that's a way of getting those red dots nice and low.
Yep.
I guess this next one I took a look at. TC had a 9mm lever action tube fed rifle.
Yeah.
Does it have a Kingsgate?
What's a Kingsgate? Like a side gate?
Oh, it's the old way to refer to it.
Oh, yeah, they have a side loading gate.
Yeah.
And it had a dust cover on the top.
Dust cover, yeah.
On the top, the bolt is like a teeny tiny thing going back and forth, and they have a dust cover that slides on the top. I don't think it'll work. I'm just thinking about like loading 9mm in the loading gate. I think it would be terrible. It's too square. You need something longer and pointier so you can like ram them in that side loading gate. I think 9mm is too small and it would be very awkward to load.
Yeah, I wish they had some dummy rounds there for us to try that.
Yeah. And you could probably use round nose. Round nose metal jacket. How pointy
round nose. I would think round nose should be fine, yeah.
Round nose should be fine. You probably want flat point on there. You wouldn't want a chain fire.
I
wonder what their capacity was. I bet you their capacity is enormous.
Yeah.
9mm?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Put a whole box of ammo in that thing. Anyways,
I have thoughts about TC. Like, I think it's a good thing they're coming out with new products, but I think they're kind of putting the cart in front of the horse right now.
There's a different TC. This isn't the
what?
TC.
It's not Thompson Center.
No, it was a different TC.
Which TC is that? Okay, I need to look it up.
That makes weird stuff. Yeah.
Okay, retract my statement.
I don't know that I would get it. Well, one, because it's 9mm, it's weird, and the other, it would be a very expensive lever action. I think if I was going to get expensive lever action, I'd go for 38 Special, 357 Magnum, that kind of thing.
Apparently, it is called the Taylor and Company.
Yeah.
The TC73.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Neither have I. It's neat though. I'm not aware.
Their website no work.
A lot of lever actions that use a rimless cartridge. Doesn't happen, right?
Yep.
So, anyways, then we got to the PSA booth.
Yep. Tony's favorite.
Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. We went there for Tony and then never looked at anything Tony wanted us to look at. So,
what do you want us to look at? Crap we can't get in Canada right now.
Correct. The 50, the grenade launcher, I guess. The 2011.
Yep. No,
we didn't look at the 2011. We probably should have.
Oh. We looked at the Jackal and the 570.
Yeah. Pump and
570 is a good one, though. Yeah.
The pump.
Well, that was one I was actually intrigued on, especially when I saw that. That, you know, it's a shotgun. That's going to catch my eye. Okay, someone's going to try and do a shotgun. Okay, cool. And then try. Well, what we thought was based it off the 870. Okay, you have my attention. Well,
but it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was not based off the 870 at all. No. So it's a common receiver between the semi-auto, which we didn't even know before we looked at the wall that they did the semi-auto version. So they have the semi-auto and the manual, the pump action. Common receiver. The receivers are the same. Pump action, like it looked. The pump action does take 870 furniture and tube extension. So the mag tube was threaded as 87 Remington 870, and then they had the Magpul 870 furniture on there. And we talked to a guy, and Adriel was standing there laughing because I told him exactly what I thought. They put that stupid Mossberg liftgate on there.
The hidden one?
The hidden one, yeah.
Yeah. But talking with him, because we did the video and everything, and then we should have done the video talking with the guy because I spent about another 5 minutes talking with one of the reps there about it. They already have a fix for that where it's still that lifter, but your center tang on that is actually extended and provides a ramp up to the trigger guard. So you actually have a ramp to load your shells. And when that articulates, it doesn't stick out of the receiver. So that's basically in line with the pivot of that lifter, of that lift gate. So that's acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Then
the semi-auto is cool. So
yes.
You like grab it on the pump, and there's like two tabs out the side, and you just grab those with your fingers and pull it back and let go. That's how you do it.
They definitely thought of user controls on this. I would have gotten rid of the tang safety and gone rotating, but that would have gotten away in your bolt drop and your pump release.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that would have gone. So tang safety, okay, fine, cool. That pump release and that bolt drop, like it's just right there with your trigger finger. Push it, super, super nice, sweet. Your bolt handle, we'll call it, to rack your bolt is on either side of your handguard, and it's so intuitive. You're there, you just rack it without taking your hand off your forend. They have a little bit of a port opening, and I told them they needed to be more, but I also told them that there's not a manufacturer out there that makes it enough. But it'd be kind of cool if they actually come out with a much better port opening. I can say, well, hey, that was me, because I will take credit for that.
They're gonna call it a Saber 570 or something. Make it a
but
part of the
overall, like actually, the shotgun does provide promise to me. Like they actually put that out there. There's some promise there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We went over and took a look at the. We looked at the Jackal. It's a semi-automatic rifle that we can't get. Yeah.
It was a promise. That's funny though. I think PSA is actually going to do Iron Gun's job faster than Iron Gun can pull it off.
So here's the big thing with PSA. Most of that stuff that you saw isn't going to come out.
Yeah, it's prototypes. It's what they call it when they do the car shows, the Halo car or the
concepts. They're
concept cars. There's a lot of
they do that
cars
every year. They'll come out with a whole bunch of concepts, get people to vote on it, and then like nothing comes out. So
yeah. Mossberg, we took a look at their rotary safety on some of their shotguns. The rotary safety, yes. The side mag release, no. I prefer the one.
Yeah, the AK style,
yeah. Yeah, that's better for the size and bulk of those magazines.
Oh, man.
You're going to be grabbing onto that thing while you're moving it around, not just pressing a button from the side. And it was in the wrong spot anyways.
It's a rock and lock too, right?
Well, yes, it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they had two models there. One was like your traditional release, like an AK style rock and lock mag release, but then they had like a crossbolt mag release for that on a different one as well.
Is it still using the same magazine?
Yep.
Well, does it drop free? I guess it would.
Well, no. Well, you grab it. It doesn't drop. You got to rock it out.
Yeah.
So you're not hitting that and reaching for another mag. You're grabbing that, rocking it out, and
it was in the wrong spot. You couldn't really grab it that well.
Oh no,
the tab on the bottom was better.
Yeah.
And in terms of safety, like the rotary was okay. I felt it like got in the way as I was like trying to get my cheek up on it and just got in the way of my fingers, but it was better than the tank safety. Slightly better.
Well, especially for the pistol grip guns, right?
Yeah. Well, these were classic stock ones, though. But yeah.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why?
Well, I mean, it would still, if it was long enough, it would still work on a classic stock.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure those were classic stocks that we were holding.
I can't remember.
The whole concept is very weird. Okay. Too long, he says.
T&W showed us they had a lightweight Arrow PCC, 4 pounds, super lightweight, very, very lightweight. Neat, very neat. I wouldn't use it as like a big shooter gun, but as something lightweight to pack to go,
grouse hunting
or something like that. Maybe, yeah. Apex Optics, Kyle mentioned them. They have a very teeny tiny 1-4 called the Vapor. Due out late summer, fall, so we don't know when that one's going to come out, but they also had a couple of red dots that were ready to rock and roll. Those were interesting to Kyle.
Yeah. So that Vapor, it had the magnification on the front of the scope, and it was a prism. It was 1-2-4, not 1 and 4 like normal. And then they had the Ion, which was an RMSC footprint, basically carry dot. And then a bunch of accessories. So they got cantilever scope mount coming out. They got scope rings coming out. 45
scope
degree
leveler.
The scope level blocks. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tony, you stick this block on like your Picatinny rail, and you take this other one that's got a ramp on it, and you just ram it in there, and it just like that level of scope. And you tighten your scope down, and you pull a leveler block out, and you're done.
Yep.
It'll hold the scope there. Like when you're tightening.
Isn't that an old concept?
Yeah, but they have it, and and actually, I don't know if it's an old concept. So like getting in on the pick rail for a lot of scopes is kind of hard, right? Like a lot of traditional rifles won't have that, but. You know how when you mount a scope, usually you tighten, and it always wants to turn one way as you tighten it?
Right.
With these, you could just jam the block in there, tighten it down, and then pull the block out, and it'd still be level. It wouldn't move on you.
Arisaka had that for a while. I have a set.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. These guys are doing it again. They're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bringing back the oldies. Yeah.
Yep.
Classics.
And 45 degree mounts, and they're even pistol dot mounts, so they have small, medium, large height pistol dot mounts. Well, so bunch of stuff coming out from them.
Double Alpha They had actually a couple things. They had their magazine pouches. They had like a skeletonized aluminum and plastic ones. They had dips, like so many Hydra dips for their other not for the skeletonized ones because it's too much of a pain in the ass to like cut around the skeletonized parts, but for their other ones, they had a wild amount of different dips for them. And then a case feeder this is something you'd put on top of like your Dylan. You'd have like your case feeder going into this thing. So your case feeder, you just dump your cases in there, and they're not exactly sorted. Maybe there's some 380s in there. Maybe there's some 40s in there, and you're just too lazy to filter them out, right? It goes through this little device, and as they fall in, it just like, yep, nope, yep, and it just like stuffs them into the correct tubes. So you could just like randomly throw your brass up top there into your case feeder, run it through this device. That thing will sort it, and then after they're sorted, they go into your...
It'll even kick it out if it's upside down.
Yep, which is important when it's about to go into your machine because you don't want any stoppages. So this thing will just ensure that your cases are always perfect because it's doing like I think it was an optical comparator. It was checking the...
like you had to run
kind of
five of the pieces that you want through it, and it was set. And then it was like
it's like a length calibrated thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't think it works too fast, but I guess you don't really care. And it seems to be pretty affordable.
It was fast enough. Yeah,
no, it was fast enough they would keep up with you on a progressive. Yeah,
unless you had a pile of wrong pieces of brass in a row where it kept kicking out, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out.
But you'd have to be a lot because you usually would have a tube that would be pre-filled, so it just has to catch up, and then it can keep up with you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Going to day 2, I guess. Arkin Scopes was there. They had a bolt action. I can't remember what was special about that bolt action. It had like a weird...
It was like the way... It was like a barrel extension, had the chamber in it.
Like an AR, yeah.
Yeah.
Had a barrel extension in it. I can't remember why that was cool or not.
It looked different. Like it wasn't like your typical barrel threaded into the receiver kind of thing, so...
so you wouldn't have to headspace it. Yeah. Alien was there. They had their Remus.
Yeah, they got a new version of the Alien because it seems like every year they have to come up with a different one. This one has... It's silly. They have a little flappy paddle safety on the side. And when I say a little flappy paddle, it is literally like a little flappy paddle safety on the side of it.
Do you think they put for like what, police departments or something?
I still don't know because it just didn't make sense. It was awful to try. It was there was nothing good about that. And then they did this button push to rack so that you had to push this button and then you could actually use your optic to rack the slide. Because if you're not familiar with the Alien, so the Alien has a center bar on your, we'll call it your traditional slide area that is
the red dot doesn't reciprocate. It doesn't move.
Yeah. And so you just take out that piece to go with irons or a red dot. And it's a non-reciprocating dot. And then you basically grab both sides of that where your traditional slide area is, and that's how you rack it. Well, they got this button now. It sits right in front of your optic that you push so that you can use your optic to rack. Like the idea.
So when you got an arm shot, your left arm's been hit.
Like he's trying to tell us you can use your pocket and everything else. Like you're not getting that deep to get your pocket to press that button, catch your optic.
You could use the back of your boot.
You could use your boot. Yes.
Yeah, you could use your boot.
But
this seems like
cool
a silly
idea.
Feature.
But yeah.
Like I had a
I don't know.
That was I had a Chinese gun that on the trigger guard, you can pull the front of the trigger guard and it would rack the slide. It was like 20 pounds. You'd have to be like Superman to pull that shit. But it not necessary.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these features are like nice to have if it's easy, but if it's a pain in the ass like that Alien, not worth
they're
doing.
trying to get into that tactical market because their optic guns can't compete anyways because it needs to be a reciprocating optic unless you're in open.
They have a carry optic / limb optic kit. Just use that. Like if you are
they have the reciprocating
scenario,
they have the reciprocating optic kit.
Yeah, I believe so. Like if you're in a technical scenario, do you really care that much that your dot is stationary? I guess it helps, but like, oh god, that seems like unnecessary complication that I don't need. Maybe someone needs
like
it.
I mean, if they had the reciprocate, yeah, like I don't know. It was interesting.
No police department or military should be buying that.
No, they're not. They're not buying
expensive.
that gun. I can guarantee you, they're not buying that gun.
They're buying.
You never know.
Yeah,
staccatos are very, very popular these days.
Well, that's what I mean. They're buying staccatos, and the staccatos are cheaper.
I guess, but they can always step one side up. Maybe the EU.
No, they are seriously. Everyone's running staccatos now for law enforcement
that aren't running Glocks. And I would say like the law enforcement that has too much money, they're running the staccatos.
Yeah, but anyways, that was the Alien Remus. Boys got a new stock out. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter. Their Quest. I think I put a picture up on Instagram, that kind of thing. They also had an aluminum chassis insert that like went into the Quest. So if you wanted to get something that had like the aluminum form-fitting stock and then put it into the wood, they had that. And I think we met the owner.
It's possible.
Right? That was one of the owners.
Yeah, he was one. Yeah,
yeah.
We actually talked to a few presidents, and we're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, one of the more interesting, like, a lot of the people were experts, and some of the people were like owners or like really high up in the company, and they knew their stuff really well.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have told them I want a boys stock, but we'll take AICS magazine. For some reason, I believe they only make one that.
Yeah.
Is the traditional one.
I asked him about it, Tony. I'm like, hey, what does this take? You got it running ASCS? Like, nah, it just runs the manufacturer's mags. And like, that's a correct solution if someone just wants a nicer stock than the factory one, right? I'm trying to think of any guns that I'd want to put one of those stocks on. Maybe one of my Savage Axes.
Why?
Briley, you want to talk about their handgun?
Yeah. So speaking of 2011s, Briley is now. I'm just gonna say it. They're building a 2011. They're buying the gun and they're changing everything about the gun, including all the internals. Like
so it'll still be on a 2011 frame.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It's like I can't remember who they're buying off of. We got it on video, I think, but I can't remember whose they're buying. It might
someone near them.
It might be actually STI themselves, the Staccato themselves, but they're doing they're a grip company. I've actually been looking at them in Texas, Lone Star Customs or something. Nice aggressive grips, but no, it was the Echelon. They're doing Echelons. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're taking these Echelons and completely gutting them and redoing them, polishing them up, putting it this customs. I wish I could remember the name of it, but they're doing this. They do STI grips like 2011 grips, but they're doing a special grip for this in Texas, and yeah, so cool. It felt good.
Mm-hmm. It looked like they were putting some good components into it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just on STI's website right now. Their Staccatos being used by 1,600 law enforcement agencies.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's quite
a
few.
Then, like, around me, they're allowing people
Keep in mind that all your cities are all, like, different agencies, right? So some cities might be, like, I don't know, 10 cops, 5 cops kind of a thing. But still... That is a
5
lot.
per. That's a lot of STIs out there. Well, not STIs, Staccatos, 2011s out there.
Staccatos being sold at full retail with all the
that's not. No. Apparently, I've heard they have a very good LEO discount program. So
I've heard that too.
So hard to say, but
Lone Star Innovations. That's the company that is doing the grip for. Brother. I have the page on my phone. I just had to look it up real quick.
Texas.
But I mean, like they're $700 grips US. So
they're made of titanium. What?
Stainless steel.
I guess.
That'd be
Wow,
hard
that's expensive.
machine.
Well, you look at the Chile and that they're all like $600 to
fair.
it. They're like $1,000 Canadian. So they're right there with the Chile and all of them basically.
Maybe I'll just not get into the whole limited and above thing.
Well, you can
just run some
have
lock grips.
Just
run some lock grips. Be like $50 to $100, not $700. We stopped by the Beretta booth. Saw their BRX one. This again is not a new release. I think this released like last year. It's a straight pull rifle, right? $2,000. I don't know what the what's the Savage Impulse cost? Is this $1,600, $1,500, $1,200?
What?
Do you remember, Tony? What's
the Axis?
No, sorry.
Oh, how much the Impulse cost?
Yeah.
Depends on the model. Usually around 1,500 and above.
1,500. So this Beretta is 2,000, and it's more similar to Blazer or Blazer.
Blazer R8.
Oh, Blazer.
Yeah, closer to one of those than the Impulse, because the whole freaking everything in the guts, it all moves back and forth and out of the way. And so we picked up one. I'm like, I haven't seen one of these before. I haven't held one of these. Let's picked it up. That's kind of neat. And then right above it, they had a gray birch version.
Yeah,
gray birch stock and all this other
interesting
stuff on it. And that wasn't the only gray birch version rifle at SHOT Show. We found like more than a couple there. It's like, oh, yeah, they have a gray birch version. We saw that at Aero Precision. No, Stag. The Stag booth had a gray birch. Was that the lever action or no? It was one of their ARs, right?
I thought it was like a 1022.
Oh, it was a 1022. You're right. You're totally right. Yeah, it was a 1022 that they had. Yeah, lots of 1022s as well.
Yeah,
lots of 1022s.
This is how you expand a Canadian company. By not being in Canada.
Yeah, move.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. We took a look at the BST AS Val. It was it's a prototype.
Yeah.
It's a very early prototype. They're talking about it being like $6,000 and that kind of thing. But of all the things that seem like vaporware at SHOT Show, that thing seemed like the vaporest of vaporwares. It's just there's so much standing in the way from making that gun work and being able to reproduce those. If who's working on the STG 44? Was that
PSA?
PSA? Was that PSA? And they gave up on it. Yeah, I imagine these guys are gonna have some problems. Well, they were at the B&T booth, so they're working with B&T on it, which is also kind of interesting. But yeah, it's as cool as that rifle is, and as much as I'd like to own one, I can't see that getting to production anytime soon. Like you need a bigger company before it. Just like the Hudson, the H9, right? The Hudson couldn't make it happen. Daniel Defense is making it happen. Kyle and I put one of those in our hands as well.
Yeah.
It was weird. The trigger's like hinged from the top.
Yeah, the trigger is reverse hinged.
Yeah. I didn't like that part. Yeah. It felt good. Felt good in the hand.
Yeah, it felt fine, but a couple weird things.
Kappa had some weird stuff. They had the Big Badger 410.
I saw that was from last year, but no, 410 is the wrong caliber.
I haven't seen
350 Legend is the correct caliber.
That one too. Yeah.
So let's get your entry level hunting in the Midwest, straight wall state. One shot.
Or you want to hunt with your kid and you want something that's super safe, like a single shot firearm is break action is very safe, right?
Be a lot of recoil though. Tiny little wire stock.
I wouldn't want to shoot one of those for hunting.
Yeah, one shot, you're done. It's fine.
Close up only. Yeah. We stopped by the Dillon booth. Yeah. They're 550C. So someone texted me and like, yo, Dillon's got a new 550. Go take a look. And we went by and they were just straight with us. No, we put some grease fittings on the thing and changed some angles on it and that kind of thing. Just to make it easier to maintain and lube and that kind of thing. So some grease nipples. Cool. Okay. It's a good idea. Yeah. They also had a bullet feeder.
Yeah, they come out with a bullet feeder now.
Yeah, they didn't have one before. Now they do. Stopped by and checked out the Discovery scopes. These are some Chinese scopes that are being sold in Canada. There's some YouTubers who sell them here. And yeah, I hadn't had my hands on one before. They have like really nice, big, chunky knobs on them. Like the adjustment knobs are huge. They're like you can really get your hand on them. And there is no mistaking the writing because it is gigantic because they have so much scope cap to write it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting there. They also, we didn't get a lot of footage of it just because I'm not super interested until it gets cheaper. But lots of thermal night vision stuff, thermal stuff. They had like a little thermal on a stick kind of a thing. It was really good. You could like pick it up and look around, and yeah, you could see everything going on. DNT scopes. Speaking about scopes, they also had some thermal stuff and night vision all built into a scope and like all the things kind of built into these tech platforms, which is kind of neat.
You can own the night.
Oh, the night. Yeah. I'm not like we can't hunt in Canada at night. So like the idea of putting a thermal on one of my rifles is like, wow, what am I going to do?
Can you coyote hunt in
at
night? No.
Nope. Can't discharge a firearm at night. You can't.
Yeah, you can discharge a.
Sorry, you can discharge. You're right, Kyle. Yeah, there are some places you can discharge a firearm.
Yeah, you can discharge a firearm at night, but you can't hunt. So that includes predator. Well, I mean, if you're a farmer, you're gonna get away with it with your cattle, but that's about it.
Yeah, you seem to get away with everything.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah. We took a look at the EOTech Voodoo 3-9. It is very small. The eye relief was not very. It was
you gotta be right really up on that.
Really close to it. Yeah.
Did you have the Russian little boot?
Well, you pretty much need that. Thing? Yeah. Those shock there.
Yeah. It was very small. It was very small. I don't know would I get one?
No, because it's too expensive for you. We know that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm too cheap. And if I'm hunting and it's getting towards dusk, that optic didn't have a big enough objective.
Oh yeah, that was not going to gather enough light.
Yeah. That would be good for maybe competition shooting, that kind of thing. It'd be
tactical
nice
competition.
Even then,
thing.
I probably, sponsorships aside, I probably wouldn't because of that eye relief. It felt you were uncomfortably close to that.
Yeah. Sure.
For me, just uncomfortably close.
Yeah. That booth was also nuts. Any of the booths that had like the stuff that sold to the military were just crazy. The SIG booth, nuts.
Yeah.
The EOTech booth, nuts. For like, in my opinion, for no reason, like they just have stuff. But if you're a military or police department that's buying equipment, then you need to like negotiate and do meetings and that kind of thing. I understand. You need to talk to those guys, negotiate, try to get a better deal.
Just take the business card and run. What? Just arrange the business
card
later.
No, the deals get done
all
right
networking.
There.
Yeah, it's all networking. It's all like meeting people face to face. Like a lot of those businesses would have like a side. I wouldn't call it a room. It'd be like a cubicle, a side cubicle where you could go and talk with them and do the deal like face to face, right?
Yeah.
A lot of business being done face to face.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of the show. Like us. Yeah. It's great that so many people were willing to talk and do videos and were very friendly with us in the media because that whole show is there for the buyers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your buyers and your dealers. That's what that whole show is. So yeah, it's all this amount of money that in orders that is spent at that show. I can only imagine.
They had buyers lounges. They gave away free beer at a certain point of time.
Oh yeah, happy hours everywhere.
Yeah, they gave away. There's like parties you could go to. Even at the Prairie Fire K, like free ammo and that kind of thing. Lancer was giving away free magazines. Hey, you want a magazine? Here you go. You want a magazine? Here you go.
Yeah,
I didn't get to keep mine.
No.
Well, you could have drilled a hole in it.
I didn't have my drill and rivet. We weren't going to go buy one.
No.
No.
Don't worry. Just write on the side of it. Adriel's magazine.
Hey, Kyle, if I come down for a match,
you're covered.
My mags, my Lancer mags.
Yeah.
Don't you touch them. They're pretty value priced. But at the same time, they were giving them away for free to just anyone, members of the public. You could just show up to this, like catch a bus, go to this thing, shoot a bunch of guns, and get free stuff. Like, we're not even talking about the stickers and patches. Oh, we got a sticker and patch game going on here. Kyle and I were loading up. My door is going to be, I haven't even started putting them on my door here. It's going to be full.
Yeah, I have to buy a new patch wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might need some help. Oops.
You might need some help. Yeah, I got some over here. Yeah. Okay, back to Franklin Armory. They have their binary trigger for everything now.
Yeah.
Name a gun, Tony. 1022. They have a binary trigger for that.
Does it have a binary trigger for a Savage Impulse?
No, sorry. No one likes
semi-auto guns.
I'm thinking, can you? Well, Striker probably doesn't work.
No, semi-autos.
Yeah, semi-autos. Does it have a binary trigger for SKS?
Oh. All you need to do for that is
just
not
weld
the cosplay. Yeah. You just let the bolt go. And
that's not binary. That's full auto. Different.
That's mag dump.
Slam fire. Yeah.
Slam fire radio. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can talk about the JP.
Well, I mean, JP, PCC, they had the JP5s there. They have a whole
JP5s.
series of them. And you actually got to shoot one. And fair enough. I get the hype. It's real. So,
is this still a direct blowback gun, or is it different?
No, the big thing with the JP5 is they have the delay built into the bolt head.
Oh.
That's where.
So it's like similar to a CMMG in a sense.
I haven't looked at this CMMG to say. All I know is that JP5 is the hype and it's real. That thing is amazing to shoot.
They had a bunch of different permutations of it too. They had lightweight, not lightweight, side charger, not side charger, and their side charger was kind of weird. It was like it
was kind of weird, but
folding,
super easy to
thing. Yeah.
Well, it was similar to an idea to like the varmint where it would pivot because it had to lock because it's non-reciprocating.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike the varmint where that lever came out probably about 75 degrees, that was just a small little pivot just to get over the lock.
Yeah.
So it didn't fold up tight against the receiver.
I don't like folding charging handles anyways.
No, and I was before the Sporter and everything, I was talking to about making one that actually stuck out so I didn't have to fold out that charging handle. But that obviously didn't happen because governments. We did check out Keltec. We went there and we checked out the PR57, as Hammer corrected me on. It's not the PR57, it's the 57.
What? Okay, sure.
I think he was bugging me more than anything. But yeah.
I love it so much. Like, so I've been watching some of the SHOT Show coverage, and some people are like, "Man, this is lame. This is just to get around California." And hey, maybe, but me looking at that $399 pistol,
yeah,
I loved it. It's so light. The recoil's not going to be that much because the cartridge itself doesn't recoil a lot. It's got super high capacity. The stripper clips sucked.
Yeah.
They're
really?
terrible. You do not want to do that thing under stress. You would never want to try to load that thing.
I could barely do it standing there, not under stress. Like even just getting it loaded into the top, it was a.
Is there not enough of a guide, so to speak?
You have to. It's a rock and lock stripper clip. You have to rock in the front and then tilt it in.
Yeah,
and then you can stripper clip. And the
I guess Florida. Here you go.
I think it's just too early, right? Because I think that the stripper clip, the guide that you push on, it fell out. I don't think that's going to happen and I bet you the final one doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And the locking mechanism was kind of crap. And I heard someone stole one from SHOT Show as well.
What?
The guide or the gun?
The gun. I heard someone stole one of the PR.
Holy
SHOT Show. They just couldn't wait. They had to get one.
Yeah, and
it's so light.
They said that they were shipping out right away.
And the ones at SHOT Show will be disabled. They're not going to have a firing pin or something like that in there. So
so you can't even use it.
No, it's useless.
I love it. I'm never going to use it for a competition pistol.
Oh no, it'd be cool to have. Like that is a cool novelty gun.
Yes. 5.7, just to have a because like a 5.7 pistol in Canada, like not practical whatsoever. But if you're going to own one, why not own a cheap one and a lightweight one? Oh my god. So lightweight. So, Tony, it's like half the weight of another pistol. It's
I know
so
that.
light.
I'm just not on board with the 5.7. I guess for like if you're just wanting a 5.7 just to play with it.
Oh yeah,
just to have one.
That's a good option.
Have a 5.7. Yeah, I already have a bunch of 9mm.
Yeah, it's a cool round. I love that. But yeah, you're not shooting competition with it.
And I'm not going to buy them by 1,000. I'm going to buy like 50 at a time. Shoot a couple. That's it.
They're pricey.
I will buy one of those PR57s. Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny trying to get put that into an RPAL course?
A PAL course? Yeah, it's like, okay, now look.
How do you tell it's a semi-automatic? It's got a
magazine. Well, that was one downside to it, was because of your internal mag, there wasn't a fast way to unload it. You'd have to rack out every single round.
What do you mean? Just 20 rounds later, you're done.
Just keep firing. Yeah.
Just fire. Yeah. You get home at night, yeah.
I guess just don't unload it.
You just don't unload it.
Well,
you never unload
you gotta
it.
You never unload it. Yeah. Because you gotta remember, they are trying to sell this as a carry gun.
Yeah, I think
it is a carry.
Oh, it is a carry gun. Yeah,
it's cheap as borscht.
Yeah.
The trigger on it is terrible, which is good for a carry gun. You know, you're not going to get any ADs with that. I think it was like 8 pounds or something like that. It was not a good trigger and creepy.
No, I think it was like closer to like 5 pounds.
Closer to 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
like
lightweight, cheap.
Yeah.
Like if you imagine you don't have one carry gun, you have multiple. You have like a car gun and you have a carry gun and you have this one's for appendix, this one's in the purse and that kind of thing. All of a sudden that Kel-Tec at $399 with 20 rounds capacity and very lightweight. Maybe that would be someone's purse gun, right? It would fit in there, not be so heavy that you got to lug the thing around all the time.
I've heard the argument that you just don't unload your carry gun. I guess if you don't have kids, it's probably not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. What about a wildlife protection gun? Something that you would carry around hiking and that kind of thing, and you don't want a bunch of weight because you're hiking and pounds is ounces and
5.7
pain, right?
Could do some stuff.
Can I kill a bear?
A 22 can kill a bear.
Yeah, if a 22 can kill a gigantic grizzly, I'm sure the 5.7 will, pierce that armor piercing tip will just go right into the brain. But you probably want hollow points with it or something like that.
Yeah.
Ultralight hiker's carry gun.
Yeah,
it would be the best one because everything else would be heavier than that.
It wouldn't be bad. Yeah, at 20 rounds, you're good there.
If you get it wet and get it rusty, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's a Kel-Tec. Oil it down. Who cares? Oh, a little bit of rust.
It won't rust. So it's filled with plastic. There's no rust to be found here.
Not much.
All right. Kestrel.
Kestrel. Yes. So Tom, who's a listener, wanted me to go take a look at the Kestrel 5700X. So we took a look at that. It calculates. So you punch in your ballistics and it does all the stuff that the Kestrel does. And it shows you what your probability of hit is based on the parameters you put in. And it tells you which parameters are most impactful for the distance you're shooting. So it'll tell you which one's more important, SD or MOA from your rifle? Which one's more important to make impacts at 1,000? And they'll tell you at this distance, here's the difference that SD will make. And here's the difference that your raw accuracy will make. So your quarter MOA gun may not be more accurate, may not give you better hits on target than a gun with less MOA, but less SD on the bullets. Or wind calls or all these other kind of things. So it's kind of neat. And it showed the percentages and it'd do simulations shot 1, blah, 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 this much. Shot 2, this much. Anyways, too fancy stuff that I don't do enough PRS to appreciate, but I like the numbers and the percentages and whatnot. They also had a shot timer. Actually, there was a VR glasses, or not a VR, AR glasses headset that showed
that was at Shooters Global.
With a shot timer. Shooters Global, yeah. Mike really liked that one. I didn't because I thought that you had to look way up with your right eye, way up to see this thing. You're never going to see it normally. It's not like a video game where it's projected in front of you. It's just way off to the side. And I bet that's because doing it like the video game is a total pain in the ass and they can't actually do it. The technology I don't think is just there yet. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
Me with glasses, it's useless.
Yeah. I could see it, but it wasn't like I have to like.
I was able to see it once I put it over my glasses, but I couldn't wear those glasses while wearing these glasses. I saw the
contacts. I guess you kind of have surgery. To. Yeah, LASIK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also had a shot timer, and this is okay. So the reason why I was talking about this, the Kestrel, they had a shot timer, and these guys had a shot timer. First question we asked them: does it work with practice score? And both of them it was no. No, they had they said it was tougher than they thought. Actually, the global guys were like, we don't know. We're just going to give them our API and see if they can figure it out. Which doesn't it didn't seem right to me. It seemed like because I know we had Ken Nelson on and we talked to him about practice score and that kind of thing. They are a development shop. They know how to develop stuff. I have a hard time believing it would be hard to get in there. But maybe they're just being
Brian Nelson's been messing around with the Shooters Global stuff. Because they have the wristwatch one too, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, and Brian Nelson's been messing around with that for a couple of years now. So I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. Anyways, it was interesting that, we don't have direct... Well, why not? Get it. Fix that. I don't want shot timers that don't connect directly to practice score.
I forgot if the MDT one would or wouldn't.
Yeah. Don't know.
Does MDT have an actual shot timer, or are you thinking their stage timer?
No, they had a shot timer that's new last year, I think.
Last year, okay, because last year I remember the stage timer. You could set your stage time, and it would just count down for you.
Which you use in NRL
PRS
and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
120 seconds, you set it, and then you know how much time you got without having to ask the guy.
Apparently, SHOT Show 2023.
Okay. Kyle, you want to talk about that loophole one?
Yeah. So, they showed it last year, but I guess it was still under embargo, and they wouldn't even talk to me about it. But Loophole has their RX 5000 rangefinder. And they make some pretty stout claims with it. They're saying basically if you're on a tripod, you'll range basically anything you want at the 5,000 meters or 5,000 yards.
Wow.
They make some pretty stout claims that freehanding they're claiming 2,500, 2,000, 2,500. But it's I didn't talk about it a whole lot last year. So they have a phone app for it. So you can set it up if the three button setup on the rangefinder isn't good. You can just set it up from your phone. It'll read out to your phone. It has the TBRW as well. The big feature for me that I think is just absolutely huge. It has, I think, pinning. So basically, you can
pinning that works with other apps that hunters are going to be using.
Yeah, it works with Onyx, Google, Apple, everything. You can sit there, range something, put your crosshair on it, range it, and on your map on your phone, it will drop a pin on where you just ranged.
So you range an elk or a deer 400 meters away, you blast it. You know how when you're looking for a deer or something like that, you're like, was it this tree or was it that tree? There's 200 meters between these two trees. Nope. This thing tells you where you lazed. You lazed this spot there, and then you made a shot at this point. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, or put on a stalk. Hey, there's elk on that other ridge. Thermals aren't right to go down and over or whatever. Range them, pin it. You can now look at your map and plan your route going around watching thermals or whatever. And because I'm sure you know by now, Tony, you make 10 steps, the terrain looks completely different.
Yep, that's impressive. So basically I see that spot, I range that spot, now I can figure out.
Now it's marked on my map on my phone.
That's awesome.
It's so good for half the time you shoot at a deer or your buddy shoots at a deer, you walk to was it here? Was it there?
This is I think this is the last spot we saw it.
Yeah, and it's 100 meters in between. It's so hard. Actually, that would be useful for stalking a wounded deer as well. All you got to do is walk around with that in your hand. You see it, boop, 200 meters that way. That's your last spot. And you can watch on the map as you spot. Or I guess you could do the same thing with blood, right?
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. Just
you
keep
could.
going as you track it. Yep.
Although, if you have your map in your hand, I would just do it with
on X, at a spot,
Yeah.
with the blood. Like that's more for distance. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, blood tracking is like if there's snow on the ground, I don't need any of that kind of stuff. I can track blood in the snow very easily. Yeah. But if it's fall and there's no blood on the ground, it can be tough. It can be tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just saying with that, I would just pin it with my finger on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never used a map when I've been tracking.
But being able to pin something like that, I'd probably start. Yeah.
Because like that's my start. Okay, if you hit a deer in the heart lungs, it can only go 50 or 60 yards. No more. It's not going to be further than that. So you pin where your starting point is and you say, I think it's this way. You can start doing a more strategic scan as you walk around, and you can probably find the thing way faster than if you're like trying to hunt for like, where's my starting point, right?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Really cool.
Yep. I don't know. Magpul had some stuff. They had a MIM knife.
Yeah, that was the interesting one. I guess not relevant for Canada. They have a new 6 ARC, so ARC family-based magazine for the old, I guess reintroduced new 6.8 SPC specific lower AR lower. So yeah, I think the PSA mixtape, which is the official release gun, is using that lower. So it's all the whole Magpul thing. It has to be consistently curved, not the whole 30 round kick or the ARC family, which is like way more aggressive even.
Yeah, they also had their crazy like case technology, like the spacing
the
for
DACA.
their and instead of pick and pull foam, they've got their Lego stack.
They're so expensive. I'm still on the fence about it. I want one so bad, and it's like,
it's not very space.
Man, $200 for that grid. I know I'll use it for life, but man, that's an investment for a case.
Yeah, pretty expensive. MDT, we stopped by. We got a good roll through of what they've got. Their stocks have a new system, I guess, for connecting things to it.
Well, yeah, it's a new modular chassis system. So you basically start with your base chassis, and you can choose whether you want like 1913 butt stock, if you want AR buffer tube style butt stock, change your fore ends. Like you could basically make an HNT 26 because you could put the carbon fiber on either side, but it's a cheaper way to get into a chassis because you could buy just the base, a butt stock, and you're good to go, and then just change it as you want. So it's a pretty cool little setup.
It's kind of funny that Canadian companies have like 2 of the best chassis manufacturers that were there.
Oh, they're huge. They're like
KDEX and MDT. Yeah,
they're huge down here.
Yeah. I guess we stopped at the KDEX booth and took a look at their stuff they had. I didn't see anything too new.
No,
they had their Nuke Evo there and some of their other fancier stuff. Yeah.
Real Avid.
Okay, you touch on their stuff once. They have something for everyone. Like I think we were talking about before the show. I have a couple of their things. I have like a block that I use for. It's got like the AR. The 1911 barrel bushing cutout in there, so you can get it on there for a really tight one. It's got a little magnet in it. I just use it for hammering stuff on instead of using a block of wood because it's good.
Smart bench
kind
block.
Of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I've also got their scraper, which I use all the time for my AR bolts because the bolt tail gets really carboned up, so I use that scraper to kind of like it's very quick to use. And I knew they had like a couple of tools. I knew they had some tools. And then we got to the show and it was like, holy shit, they've got like thousands of them.
Oh yeah.
For like everything. The muzzle loader, they had this little like combo tool, almost like an Allen key set, like a little or a Swiss Army knife, if you will. And one of them was like a little poker, like bit of wire, so you could clean out your touch hole, and like all these other crazy tools just for your muzzle loader. So you can put all your tools for your muzzle loader in one little thing, which I thought was kind of and more.
Well, they had
you went through their stuff.
Yeah, so they have like the black powder cleaning kit new for this year, which includes that multi-tool that Adriel was talking about. They have a bunch of different multi-kits. So they have this 1/4-inch wrench. The ratchet, On the ratchet's end, it's pass through. But they also have a little 1/4-inch thing, so you can use it as a T-handle. But then they have the 1/4-inch at the end of the ratchet, so you can use it as a little screwdriver. And with all these kits, like they got the extension, which is beefy. It didn't need to be so beefy, but it is. And they have a bunch of different kits. So they got one that has, like, it had that variable torque bit that I was mentioning. They got just the ratchet and, well, they got like a 13-piece bit. Comes with some bits, gives you space to add 4 bits. In the end, like all your Allen wrench, torques, micro torques. They have kit with the micro torques and a whole bunch of stuff. And these are compact kits, like compared to like the Wheeler kits and that. But they've got them, like they got the ones that have, hey, this has all your sockets plus all a bunch of like good selection of the screw bits, like your Phillips, your flatheads, your hex, your torques, that stuff. Then they have the kit with the fix-it stick preset torque bits from like 15. Like they have those bits basically from 15 inch-pounds to 100 inch-pounds that are available for purchase. The kits usually come 15 to 65 with 6 of those. They upgraded their AR-15 cleaning kit. They added a scraper to it, so now it's the Max, the AR-15 Max cleaning kit. And that was basically it for their new stuff this year. They also did the vice block for a PCC. So they had the AR-15 vice block, Magwell vice block before. Now they did for the 9mm for the PCC.
That's kind of nice if you're going to work on something for a lot. Yeah. Holds it really nice.
So
I like those pass-through 1/4-inch wrenches, those ratcheting wrenches. I have some. I love them. I love them for so much.
Yeah. Oh, they're
so useful.
Yeah, they're awesome. So that breech plug 4-in-1 scraper is $30 US. They have like a bunch of the kits. You're ranging from $30 to $150 for the multi-bit kits. Those the Glock AR9 vice blocks $40, and sorry, these are all US prices. The fix-it stick preset, so just one torque bit, $25. The multi-torque, so 15 to 65 inch-pounds, was $50 US. So like reasonable prices too. The muzzle loader, like the black powder kit, was $80. And $45 for the AR-15 Max. So that, without reading every SKU, that basically covers all their new stuff. And like that's just their new for 2025. Like Adriel said, they have everything. And
with so many booths of the same shit in a different brand name, getting to their booth was like, it was such a, all their stuff was unique. It was all they make it, they design it. It was all weird, like very specific stuff, and it was a treat getting somewhere where it was all unique again.
Yeah.
Staccato was good.
Yep.
They got handguns. Yeah.
They have a Glock mag pistol.
Yep.
Yeah.
2011, I think.
No. Well,
was it?
It's like a 2011. I wouldn't call it a 2011.
Okay,
but
so double stack. Wide body 1911.
Like it's like they took what in 2011 looks like, because they built that gun around the mag.
Does it feel a lot different shooting wise? Okay.
No,
I couldn't.
No, it's a smaller grip, so it's actually easier to grip because it's slightly smaller grip. You can feel like you can get high on it. It was good to shoot. I liked it. The mag fitment was loose, which is, I'm not knocking it. It was there was no Glock flick with it. It would rocket out. You hit the button, it rocket out, and feeding in would be no problem. Because there was a lot of space in there. Like you wouldn't even need to tune those mags. There was that much space in the grip to the mag. Whereas like a normal 2011, you got to tune your sidewall of your mag and that. You wouldn't have to do that with this.
I prefer that they're loose going in and coming out.
As long as they feed all right, I don't have a problem.
Glocks seem to run just fine loose. They don't need to be They don't need to be skin tight on all the sides of it.
Like it seemed like it locked in place good, but then when you're feeding it, it had the space there. So yeah. So yeah, no, it felt good. Cool.
Yeah.
$2,500. I don't know. Their optics mounting was interesting. So they just run one bolt pattern, and based on the optic you're using, it moves forward or back on the slide. So they have a big area for mounting your dot. And so it's just direct mount, except for ones that's like a cross bolt style. And so based on where the hole position is, your optic might be slightly forward or backwards compared to another dot. So interesting concept. If you don't put a dot on it, that rear sight, it was terrible because it was put between the optics plate, and I understand why they did it, and that was for the acceptance of all the different dots. But it's in between your optic plate and your ejection port. So it is,
which means your rear sight's pushed way forward.
Yeah.
Oh, like the co-witness, but it's in front, like more AK style. Than
it would be in front of your optic. Yes.
Yeah.
So your side radius will be really short.
We saw.
There was that Caracol
on purpose.
There was a Caracol that they did that where your rear sight was in front of the ejection port. So you had like a 2-inch sight radius.
And that was on purpose. That was to be fast.
For emergency backup use only.
I didn't find
fast.
It
Not accurate.
But like that's the same thing with a lot of stuff though. Like as a competition shooter, you go there and there were things that were made for non-competition shooters, like those sights. There was also I left it upstairs. There was a green sticker you put on the back of your slide, and it's those holographic like stickers and that kind of thing you got as a kid where you move it one way or the other and it moves around. It was one of those, and if it was square on, you'd see green. If it was a little bit off, you wouldn't see green. So their idea was you point the gun and you fire, and if it's green, you're close enough. You're pointing directly at it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't shoot a lot, that might seem like a cool idea. For someone who shoots a lot, we know that I can.
Does the side to side work?
How do you shoot fast? I point shoot. I go like this. I don't look down the sights. No, if my target's close to me, I just pull the trigger. I don't need to use the sights. But that's because I got lots of rounds and I know I'm confident in that ability, right? Someone who's not confident might look at that and say, "Oh, that green sticker, I like that idea."
Yeah. That was funny.
Though. Yeah, not good. They're
interesting, I guess.
They wanted us to try it.
They were very persistent. They actually ran it. The kid ran into me on Friday too. And
yeah.
It's like, oh, they were salespeople, really pushy salespeople.
Very aggressive. Yeah, it's good. Good on them. I don't believe in their product.
Oh,
I'm glad that they do.
Hey, they're hustling. They're trying.
Yeah. Where's that taking us?
You were really
Tapco.
I was gonna say you're really excited about this.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Tapco.
No,
because you have too many Tapco SKSs or what?
See, I had a Tapco stock.
SKSs. I have a Tapco 1022 stock though, and for my purpose, I use it for maple seed, and it's excellent for that because I get kids who have little arms and
they're short.
It telescopes. It's got an AR buttstock on it, so it telescopes back and forward. So for the kids that shoot that rifle, they love it because they get to fit the gun to them, and it takes me all of 2 seconds to do. Do I like the stock? No, but it's not me. It's for the flexibility for the kids. They really like it. I have Tapco. I have some magazine extensions for 870s, Tapco ones. They work just fine.
Are they under some other people's wings now? I remember they're
part of the
Freedom Group.
Completely rebranded. Now they're an orange buffalo, and they got all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah,
they got Glock barrels. The Tapco sells Glock barrels now, and a stock for the Henry.
That thing was nice. I like that.
Yeah, they got all sorts of wild stuff now.
Yeah,
and the guy was like more than happy to go on camera. He was very nervous on camera, but he was more than happy to go on camera and talk with us. And I'm glad to see they're back. They didn't have as much cheap crap as they did before, because like Tapco is normally like cheap crap. And I think that they can't take that position anymore because that position's taken by AliExpress. You want to get some cheap crap, you go on AliExpress and Vector Optics. I got some Victor Optics rings. They said Vector when I bought them, but I was like, I don't know if these are really Vector or not.
that Tapco stuff, like it was good.
Yeah, so they have to go. They have to go upmarket. Tapco has to go upmarket a little bit. So they're selling Glock barrels and other stuff that you would not expect from Tapco.
They have a single stage trigger, 160 US. There's some lower parts kits, handgun parts. Let's take a look.
Lower parts kits? Tapco
Tritium sights for SIG Hellcat, Glock, barrels for everyone, the brakes.
Weird, right?
Compensators for Glocks. Interesting.
Yeah. Telson Optics, that's a new optics company that has an office in Canada and is also in the States.
Yeah, because they were all like, when I looked on the app, it said that they were Canada. That's why I asked the guy, like, "Oh, you're Canadian?" He's like, "Oh no, it's like Texas or something or other." I'm like,
"But we're all
okay," because SHOT Show says you're Canada, but okay.
Well, and most of the people we talked to at the Telson booth there were from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a competition shooter from Winnipeg. They had a couple of reps there from Winnipeg.
Yeah. Yeah, but like brand new. They said they like. A week ago they launched. So they've either bought someone's scope or they've been working on a scope and then launched the company a week ago or something.
With them and many of those other scope manufacturers, I think they're coming from a few factories. They might choose to buy their components from a couple of different places, whether it's in Japan or China or something like that. And then some of them are actually, one thing we did notice is that some of them are assembling in the US now. Yeah. Maybe from Global Components, maybe not, but a lot of them are assembling in the US and saying US made. It's moving back. Red dots, optics, things that were like going overseas are now coming back to the US.
Yeah. Wheeler. Speaking of rebranding, Wheeler's rebranding. The new logo,
right?
Like the tools company?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that Wheeler rebranded, so a new logo. Their tools, they went with a nice classy look to the tools. Now they have, you walk up and it looks like just a normal like 1/4-inch impact gun, but it's electric torque screwdriver. You could set the torque on the back and do scope rings and everything with it, and not
that'd
bad.
be ideal for scope rings because like scope rings, a lot of them will have 6 screws per ring. Yeah. So you got like 12 screws. And by the time you tighten all of the ones on the one side, you go to the other side, you torque those back down. You got to go back to the other side and do it again and do it again. And then until you finally got all of them to the same torque level. Well, if you do that with like a Torx key or something like that, what a pain in the ass. But that would do it quick.
Yeah.
So like a Cabela's or a hunting shop that's got to set up like a lot of scopes or that kind of thing. That would be a time saver. What else do they have? They had a couple other things. They had like a scope leveler and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they got a new scope leveler with laser and everything.
Yeah, level the stock and then zero, like tear that off against the laser. And you put the laser on the barrel and it like puts a reticle on the wall, or you get a bubble level and you stick a reticle on the wall, or you just find something that's level on the wall and you level your scope with a bubble level and you're good to go. Or you just eyeball it.
Or you use those plates.
The plates.
That's an even better idea. Yeah. What else did you see on Friday, Kyle, that was interesting?
So all that Real Avid actually got that list. I ended up checking out Cloud Defensive. Been hearing about their lights, and they actually have a new rifle light out. And it comes with the mount. It's molded. It's actually machined into the light. And it's their own control cap, which is it's like a double circuit. So if you're like, it comes with the button, your wired button in there. And so if like your wire gets cut, you can still use the button on the back of the light. Comes with the mount for the button, your cable management for that. It's also clockable, so you can take your cap off the back and you can clock where that wire comes out. It's got a captured piece for the battery, so your battery is not bouncing around. You put your battery in, you thread this other piece in, it keeps your battery pressed up against one of the contacts, and you got your spring on your cap that just does the rest.
These lights are 513 Canadian dollars.
Like they're a nice light, and like
they better be for $500.
When your life is on the line, you need that $500 light real bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it's cloud. I had heard about Cloud Defensive. They're big on the Candela versus lumens.
Throw. They like throw then.
Yeah. So, also because we missed it earlier in the week, Athlon came out with a chronograph that looks very similar to the Garmin.
Yeah. Let's just say it's a clone of the Garmin.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
Phone app.
How much was it?
It was $350.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing right now. 350, 60 to 5,000 feet per second detection coming soon.
Yeah, Tony, I'm gonna get one of those. I was looking at the Garmin Zero real hard, but if this thing comes out for what did you say it was, Kyle?
350 US.
350 USD to CAD. $500. Like the Garmin 799 map, you can't get it on sale.
Yeah.
So this is $300 cheaper, Canadian. I will be waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
Expected to arrive April 2025. It is the Athlon Rangecraft Velocity Pro Radar chronograph.
Whoa, what a mess of a name that is.
Yeah.
Garmin Zero. Beautiful.
I think it's got the zero, like
C1
it's like a Pro, it's a C1 Pro.
Yeah.
So
That's still even better than whatever that mess was you just mentioned there. Cool.
Yeah. So I
like to see more competition.
Yeah. I know Lab Radar did something on theirs. They wanted to do a video, so I did one, but they I can't even remember.
I thought they did they make a small one too?
Oh yeah, they put that out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they made like a software firmware update to theirs for this year.
I just want something small and cheap that I can just set up, not think about, and just tell me velocities as they're coming out the gun. I don't need any of the stats. I don't need any of the logging. Just have a nice display that shows me what velocity I'm getting. And I don't care about anything else. And then I wish I could get that and not at $800.
Yeah.
Did you see anything else interesting Friday?
No, that's pretty much it that I can think of. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Vegas is so expensive. It's such a ripoff.
Yeah.
Like there was more
Did
than
you gamble?
once where I was like, no, didn't gamble at all. But like going to restaurants and that kind of thing. Some of the so one of the restaurants we went to, like the prices were high, but the amount of food you got was like ridiculous. So it was like, okay, well, it's not the best, but the food's good.
You got a good amount of food, yeah.
We went and got steaks to, treat ourselves one of the nights, and the steaks were $65 with nothing else, just the steak.
I saw it's all about the buffet. What are you doing? You're doing Vegas
I'm not
wrong.
going to eat off a buffet.
I don't think they had a sign for a buffet, but I didn't really I didn't see a buffet.
I didn't see it,
at our
but
hotel either.
I could go eat off a buffet.
I could, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, anyways, the food was a ripoff. Even the taxis were like, so expensive. Like everything was expensive. It was just ridiculous, the pricing. I've been to Vegas many times, like more than a few times in the past, and it used to be expensive. It didn't used to be this bad of a deal though. Or maybe I'm just a cheapskate in my old age. Now I was a cheapskate younger too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like this sports pub, it wasn't bad. I mean, we $100 for the two of us, but when we paid $100 each for one meal, and it wasn't even that great.
No, and we had like just one drink.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Yeah, like that steak wasn't even that great. So.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
We're past.
So, yeah, that's basically our SHOT Show 2024. We'll get into listener feedback, and we do have an email this week. It looks like Tony has a super fan.
Are you going to read it?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Ham it up a bit, though.
Tony needs to go. I would trade a statue of Trevor on the screen with just 1 or 2 clips of Trevor on repeat and tell him to stay in his lane. Do not speak of anything long range. 300 Norma Mag, the Runkle has, can't type, but is a great cartridge for long range shooting, and he has friends that can reload for him. Far better than 300 Win Mag and cheaper to shoot than 338 once you reload. Telling him to change his barrel when he has no idea what he's talking about is ignorance at its finest. Really long time listener, James.
Tony getting put on blast.
Okay, I guess
Mag.
I don't want to repeat what our PM is doing, so I better announce my resignation now. We will launch a thorough and fair contest for the next Slamfire host as soon as possible. I'm thinking this week. And what's our constitution say? Minimum 30 days.
What constitution?
Yeah. Okay.
300 Norma Mag. It's got its followers.
I thought there was nothing wrong with that round, but hey, each their own.
I've never heard of it. I've never looked at it. I've never looked at what it shoots or the performance out of it or anything like that.
I don't have really like strong feelings for anything like where if somebody buys something, okay, fine, you want that cartridge, because I like weird cartridges that people roll their eyes at too. So I mean, there's that. James came on pretty strong.
I'm very judgmental. Not a 300 Norma Mag. I don't know enough about it to judge. Maybe I should learn about it so I can
Well, there are things like if I see you shooting a Versamax or Mossberg,
Weatherby Magnums.
Oh, a 300 Weatherby Mag, love it.
Oh, I judge you now.
That puts that 300 Win Mag to shame.
It's got that double like radius shoulder
belted
thing on
case.
It. Yeah, just all the shitty features that you'd never want in a case. It's got them. It's got them all. Yeah. Even more obsolete than 30-06. Anyway, I'll stop before I upset other listeners.
Are you okay there, Tony?
I think I've officially announced my resignation, so I don't think I should be speaking anymore.
Okay.
All right.
We'll assume that you're over there working on some 6.5 Creedmoor rather than 300 Norma Mag.
There's a thing on Discord asking if I got the shield roller delay buffer figured out, the springs. I think I know what it is, but it's still crap. And I store stuff usually with a chamber flag, so they were compressed. On the same token, should be able to compress a spring and have it store without it having memory on that. So it's still not great, but that's how it was stored, and that's what caused it. But
did you see Forgotten Weapons and the PCC? He had a bearing delayed rifle, so not roller, bearing delayed, and it had just like the Impulse. Actually, it had 3 bearings, 3 ball bearings, just like the Impulse, and that's what it was. Its delay mechanism.
Is
and
it a Maxim?
Hey, Tony, you weren't talking. Remember?
Right.
So it's got 3 ball bearings. And it's got one with a lightly sloped track, one with a medium track, and then one with a very steep track to change the unlocking mechanism, like the speed of unlock on it.
I've got to check that out.
Yeah. So Ian, Forgotten Weapons, check it out on there. Look for bearing delayed something. Anyways, I thought it would be up your alley.
Yeah, that sounds cool. But I will type and reply on Discord APOD. I saw that it came in right before we were starting the show, or I saw it just before we were starting the show. So I will reply to that. Tony's not talking, so I guess I will do the YouTube. I do have it pulled up. And we'll start off. Oh, we got a Gersan testing and review comment. And it is from Stephen Jarrett, 1961. It's a great review, my friend. No way I would ever, knowing this, go buy that gun. If you're looking for a budget shotgun, I would, because it's actually not that bad. I was trying to do something that really it has no right.
You were comprehensive too in your review.
So
if you're comprehensive in a review, you're gonna talk about all the good things and all the bad things, and no gun's perfect.
Yeah. Then we got our Eddie. So far, he's doing so good. He's even adding, because I think his thing was 2 comments per episode, correct? He's got 3 this week. He says, sorry to hear about your loss, Kelly. Your friend sounded like a real asset to the firearms community. I think we all share that same sentiment. It's going to be tough because Tony can't talk. Tony, I thought the strategy for monolithic bullets was light for caliber. For 308 Win, I often hear about 130 grain TTSX. The extra speed helps to ensure expansion on impact.
And it's a cheat code because you get a bullet, you get still good BC with that copper bullet because it's long, and you get to send it at a higher velocity.
Okay.
And it won't explode if it hits a deer tooth, and you're point blank. Whereas at point blank was
so fast that it just disintegrates. Yeah.
Yeah, 130 lead, and you're gonna be getting. It's basically like a shotgun hitting that thing.
Yeah. The term for the revolver lock you were searching for is the Hillary hole, named after her for championing it. The best anecdote I heard about the Hillary hole is not even Bill would use it. And then our final comment, and Eddie's final comment for the week. Dustin, regarding that wild targeted shooting in Markham. Yes, this is unfortunately now Canada after 9 years under liberal rule, with policies like hug a thug, catch and release, only going after legal firearms owners. What did one expect? Yeah, that's pretty fair. So thank you, Eddie, for the comments. Thank you, Steve Jarrett, for your comment. Don't count that shotgun out. If you're looking for a budget one, it's not bad. Just can't shoot super light loads out of it. I think that's pretty much it for our comments. If you would like to send the show an email, you can send it to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And we do have, if you are looking to buy some stuff from Brownells or Cabela's, head to our website. We have some links in the sidebar there, and we won't cost you anything extra, and we will get a little bit of a kickback if you use those links. We would like to thank our supporters on Patreon and Player, and go to those platforms and support us if you so choose. And with that, let's go shoutouts. Tony, do you have any shoutouts? He shakes his head no. He's holding to the no talking thing. Adriel, you got any shoutouts?
Yeah, to you, Kyle, for it was a great week. Really nice. Thanks for picking me up at the airport and driving and all that kind of stuff. It made the trip a lot easier.
Cool. I was gonna shout you out for helping out with the SHOT Show coverage, and definitely learned a little bit on just doing quick reviews without waiting for somebody, and definitely got some more footage because you were there, and really appreciate it.
We got too much footage. We got so much footage.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of footage. So I got a lot to do. A lot of editing to do. So with that, we are going to sign off. So go join our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Player. Join the CCFR, and we will see you next week.
Later,
night. Tony's waving good night.